Yeah, welcome back to the Song of the Nameless. It's a holiday season, vacations, real life. I have no excuse. If you have been following this show, I appreciate you. I know it's like nobody that I'm talking to right now because I can see the viewer count, but we're going to do this session. I think we have one more session before the end of the year, and then we'll be kind of placing the game on hold for. Oh, we do have a person in the chat. Cool. We'll be placing the game on hold for a little bit as we do some other stuff in the beginning of the new year. That said, I do want to make sure we understand where we're at narratively. So, the group entered into the city of Ordris, learned that Sarah's father, who is a member of the council of the city-state of Ordris, was murdered. And the presumption was that he was murdered by a rogue, a devilishly, awesome rogue, um, who the group had already had business with. The individual in question was named Asai, and they basically tried to butcher Syndrix while the group wasn't looking and take stuff from them. So it was very clear to them that this person was very much capable of this kind of activity. But when they went to speak to them in the prison cell, for whatever reason, they came to decide that there really is no motive here. Asai's probably not the one who did it. And Asai also gave them a lead regarding a place to look for a potential culprit, or at least a trail of breadcrumbs leading to us. They went to the address, as I noted. They learned that there is a establishment located near there that appears to host a number of bandits known as the Fellhoods. Um, but after kind of scrounging around, looking about, what they did find out through purely brilliant druidic wild shaping is that there's more to the game than that. It appeared that a member of the council, not a direct member, but rather an attendant of the council, was present for a meeting with a high ranking military forward individual of the Denisotvan military, who, if you're familiar with the overarching story, the Threshold game deals with the Denisotvans coming from the west and encroaching on the lands of Lavidia, Anundia, and Ulamon. Ulamon's already been kind of dealt with. We saw that kind of fall apart in the last Tuesday game, which was the Resistance at the Threshold. Resistance failed. Moving then, sorry the shade. Moving then from there, they entered back into the capital and started playing kind of a bit of a game where some were kind of focused on certain council members and others were focused on others, and they were trying to kind of learn who was trustworthy. Obviously, the druid, kind of going from them into it, was deeply connected with the master of the circle and the kind of um, uh, almost like park rangers of the Ordris kind of wilds and environs there around. Um, and Tommel kind of joined Scarin in that kind of meeting and discussion with, oh man, it's right here. Name of that bird is
Arctinex?
Cartonex is correct. Great. And they're pretty certain that Cartonex is not responsible for um, the murder. Um, well, at least that's what they thought before the end of the last session. And then the Quira and I believe Gil, or was it Syndrix? One of them went to go and speak with another member of the council who was presumed not to be directly involved with the shenanigans at the establishment, Borgo Geisbog, who is a goblin and is in charge of kind of the unions and like worker relations with the government and the city as a whole. Um, they kind of have an inkling that he's not responsible either, or at least they did until the end of last session. They know that Ambran Olafstad is the one who sent the person to the establishment. It was a representative of the League, the mysterious man. Um, and so they're pretty certain that Ambran is in bed with the Fellhoods, if not other entities that are present. The captain of the watch is definitely involved, as they know that City Watch members have entered in and out of the establishment as well, and are giving kind of a blind eye towards the Fellhood's activities in relation to very, very horrible actions, such as, again, content warning. We've mentioned it last time, but just to put it back out there since we've been gone for so long, human trafficking, and not just humans, also other sentient creature trafficking. Um, Into, through, and around the city by the Fellhoods. And so Marla is, if not guilty, as is at least culpable in turning a blind eye to those activities. There's no way she can't know. The last member of the council is deceased. Uh, Taryn Ordric, a honorable man who will be given proper last rites and burial. Well, it's not really a burial in this society; they just throw them off a cliff. Um, that will be happening tomorrow. At the beginning of today, last night they kind of compared notes and spoke to Reuben, the master of war, or the war magier of the conglomerate, who was the person standing directly against the efforts of the Denisovans to encroach on these lands. He said that he would memorize some spells the next morning, cast them, and figure out what he can regarding who might be a shapeshifter, because there's a belief that it is either a changeling or a succubus, which Johnny does not know what that is, so nobody spoil it in the
Nope.
chat.
I still don't know.
Still does not know. Such an innocent boy. We love you. But changeling, succubus, those were ruled out, for at least for the council members, because Reuben in the morning reports that he casts spells to kind of discern their nature on the council members, and none of them came up as shape changers of any kind. Instead, what he noted is that they appear, all five of them, or rather all four of them, sorry, my brain did it dumb, but all four of them appear to have lingering essences of enchantment magic, which means that at some point in the very, close past, they were mind controlled or at least given some sort of magical suggestion. That said, today you have the day to kind of explore at your pleasure. There's one specific place that was kind of hinted at and kind of made kind of known to you that you have not gotten a chance to go down and check on, and that would be the catacombs of the Ordric family. They are something that's kind of granted to you as you have access to, rather, because of Sara, and you're the only people who should have access to it due to that connection. It is believed that someone attempted to enter into that space, but nobody thinks that they actually made it through due to the traps. There are known to be a lot of traps. There are no solutions to those traps. Well, sorry, there may be solutions to those traps, but they are not solutions that were written down and given to you. It's like if you password protect your hard drive like an idiot when you leave for a vacation, and then you come back and you forget what that password is, which is something I never did. That never happened. And you have to think about it real hard and then type a bunch of different passwords into it, almost locking yourself out entirely of your hard drive, but you make it because you remember how stupid you were before the trip. Yes, it's just like that.
I was oddly specific there.
Yeah, it felt a little real. It felt real.
I genuinely was on the verge of instant messaging John, but I was like, every time I message him, I'm always coming to him for something I need help with. That's the kind of friendship.
I should just say hi sometimes.
Yeah, just and talk about other stuff. But yeah, but anyway. So, how would you like to spend your day? Again, it's up to you. I'm pretty much prepared for anything related to what I've talked about.
I vote we jump in the ship and just head off to Knock and forget about all this bullshit.
That is an option.
Just start
We
a new
skip
life.
the royal yeeting of the sovereign,
Um,
or do we wait for the royal yeeting of the sovereign's corpse?
We can just
yeah.
take his body and toss it off the ship as we go, right?
Speed it up to today.
We'd have to
Fuck
fight
it.
Marla for it because she ain't gonna let us get it.
We'll
I'm
toss
so
her
sick
fucking
of
body
all
off the
this
ship
bullshit.
too. I don't
I think we win that fight.
Depends on
Six
who she
against one.
pulls. I mean, depends on what string she's able to pull.
So-
I've got a lot of murdering stockpiled, okay?
It's a good
We haven't
spell.
played in a while.
It's a good spell, Dogpile. You should check it out. It's in Gathering Magic,
Dogpile.
which should be on Roll20 soon. I have it. I have access to it. But it should be a product that is purchasable.
Sorry,
What
what
is
is
it?
this?
Exciting.
My Gathering Magic Mystical Archives.
Oh.
Yeah, I can access it, so I can pull spells from that book because it's in my contents. But yeah, it's almost
Oh, that's awesome.
like officially.
Mhm.
So that's
Cool.
kind of cool. Anyway, gonna stop patting my own back there.
I
Are we
think
voting towards fast forwarding? There's always the catacombs we can take a look at.
Always get spooky. With catacombs.
out of
Do you just wanna get spoopy?
character, I feel like I'm having this horrible future vision of us getting trapped in the catacombs and just missing everything.
Right?
Yeah.
They're like,
Hmm.
where's the air? I don't know.
That seems like
So,
a very
What I will say is you do have an interesting mechanism built within the group that you may have forgot about that is present that will allow you to kind of escape a situation like that. In that, Gil will be the one that falls prey of said a trap, and you'll be able
Yeah.
to just walk the fuck away.
Hmm.
Oh,
If
It's fair.
worst comes to worst, it's probably gonna all fall on Gil. That's just how it's played out so far.
I mean, honestly, that's
That's
facts.
valid. It's valid.
Gil
there.
gets flattened down to like 1 hit point, and then we just throw him on our shoulder and run out.
That sounds smart too.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, worst case scenario, no Gil, but still you.
Well,
have to-
I'm not worried about I'm not worried about TPK necessarily, but like, click
Fine.
the door
Fine.
locks behind you, and then you have to like solve the puzzle before you can leave,
Right.
and then it's like, oh shit.
2 days
30
later, we
years
walk out.
later.
Right.
And it's like
Yeah.
literally, like I just threw like a bunch of like plastic blocks in front of you, and you guys are like, ah, ah! How do they go? Ah!
That's the concern.
I mean, yes.
You guys are great at solving.
we have
puzzles.
a lot of history with puzzles.
And it's honestly a good one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. this
I'm thinking
one.
about my personal history with puzzles, which is not good.
No, yeah, probably.
And I'm just imposing that on like the entire team.
No, the rest of the crew has done pretty well at it. Like I feel like it's not so bad.
Okay, so how much time in game do we have between now and when we're expected to gather for this
A whole day,
meeting of the royal?
a whole last day.
A whole day.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
What's the worst that can happen?
So I guess we
Down.
all kind of like wake up in the morning in the on the ship. Did
Yeah.
we all spend the night on the ship?
And then you meet with Ruben, and Ruben tells you the stuff that he told you, and then he says he has to return to his ship because they're getting, they're preparing. It seems like they've seen some things off the coast of the Isle of Orgris that they want to be prepared for if worse comes to worse.
Some things like
Dennis
Denis
traps.
Satvins?
Yeah.
Ah. That's frightening.
It's not great.
Gil wants to sleep in a hammock. Is there a place for him to sleep in a hammock?
Yeah.
That is so cute.
Okay, good.
That's
Okay,
Oh,
good.
look,
There's like
hammock.
one right here.
Okay.
Oh, they're all hammocks. I thought they were beds for some reason. And I was
No.
like, no, he wants a hammock.
I think there's one bed in the entirety.
Yeah, the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So we get up, we eat, we make our game plan for the catacombs.
Very well, Sarah. What do you know about these catacombs? You must be the most familiar amongst all of us here.
Fortunately, I'm not. My father never let me go down there. I was kept away.
So
But are
secretive.
there stories?
No, I just knew that I was when it when I became of age, he would take me down there and show me, but I guess there never came a time.
What do we know um about this? Like, is there anything historical significance? Anything historically significant,
It's family
excuse me.
secrets. It's whatever
Okay.
the contents of the crypt are. The presumption is that because of being called a crypt, it stores the bodies of older
The ancestors.
individuals who were buried different.
Well,
Mm,
how old is the eating of the royal tradition then?
Um, it's
Or do they collect the bodies afterwards and shove them in the crypt?
hold on a second.
Right.
I thought John also mentioned that there's a user manual for the ship down there too.
Mhm.
that's true.
I'm sorry.
I can't just push buttons.
What's happening? Oh, so how old is the quote unquote yeeting of the or the dead? So the process began when crypts, royal crypts, started to fill up.
Oh, that makes sense.
Your father's crypt is specifically connected to his lineage. So Ordric kind of like lineages, it's not a straight line. It's not perfectly single file down a line. So you have like people who are kind of temporally or chronologically kind of on the same line, and how it kind of like moves up and through isn't so distinct, because even before there was a council, there was always kind of a ruling body of the family and the closely related individuals to the Storm Herald. Obviously, the Storm Herald being the final arbiter of all kind of discourse due to their supernatural and also kind of positional political position. But yeah, so your understanding, um, Sarah, would be that it's probably somewhere in the three greats, like ballpark, of ancestors. So great 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 grandmother, grandfather, great uncle, what have you. A few hundred years old. That makes sense for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Someone told me, right, that people were trying to break into the crypt.
Yeah.
Yes. There was
Oh,
at
okay.
least one attempt, and it's presumed to have failed due to the traps.
Oh yeah, okay. I think we should go and see what someone was. Well, what they were after in the crypt.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
You kind of descend down from the craft and head down as a group through the Ordric kind of fortress keep structure. Not many people approach you or kind of interfere with your retinue as you move through the space. It seems like most are kind of giving you kind of a wide berth. Occasionally, Sarah, there will be like a face you recognize from childhood or maybe your teens as you were kind of, growing, that kind of stops and says, "Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss," and kind of gives condolences, but then very quickly sees that you have purpose in your movements, and will kind of, step aside without too much besides just the simple pleasantries. Nobody of note. Just again, these would be like attendants. These would be kind of scribes that your father would have dealt with, archivists and the like. But yeah, you make your way in to the lower section, and when you get there, there are a few doors. I would say somewhere in the ballpark of about 70 doors in this single room. The room is sprawled out in a huge half circle, the single wall that you come in through. The wall that you enter in behind you has a number of large tapestries that have been hung up. And as you kind of turn and look back at them, you can see that these tapestries seem to denote all of the different branches, or rather kind of subsections, kind of connected families that form the whole of the Ordric family. You recognize yours. Yours is pretty much kind of closely connected to the Storm Herald, as the last Storm Herald was your great-grandfather. Kind of living, or no, grandfather, just regular grandfather. He was your dad's dad. My brain dumb sometimes. That said, looking through all of these doors, it's very easy for you to find yours. You know your markings. For everyone else, the logic of her kind of being able to track and find the door that she knows is the correct door makes no sense. It seems to be very much internal heraldry, iconography, and kind of just designation. She understands the half circle. It's just something that's kind of intuitive to her due to her noble upbringing. You step to the door. You pull out the key that you have, the dagger key, if I remember correctly, and you place it into the keyhole, and you open the door. Before you is kind of a gray slate of white, grayish kind of marble, very old, very kind of rustic, but set in large 5x5 tiles, because it's D&D, and that's how it works. And a long path ahead of you, which eventually terminates at a door. The door has a single rune on it. And when I say rune, I mean the giant variety, so kind of an old Davic kind of script of giant rune. Does anybody here speak the giant language?
Not me.
No.
No, but I can cast
Yes.
comprehend.
Okay. I would like for
As a
know
ritual.
people who would approach first, which I presume would be Quira and Sarah, based on historical. If you want to change it up, you can change the marching order as you like. This is just typically how the group has fallen in. But if that is fine,
that's about right.
go ahead and have Quira and Sarah both make perception checks.
Can I do inspiring leader before we move
Oh,
forward?
absolutely, yeah. You could do it while you're in that half circle room.
Okay, so it'll be +7, 10 points.
And what's your cool story about?
I would just say we go as far. I would say we're we go only as far as is safe. If it
What?
gets too dangerous, we stop and come back
Not
all
very
together.
inspiring. Sounds a little bit more of a OSHA
I mean,
leader rather than.
are we the best
Oh,
judge
shit.
though of like what is safe? Because I feel
We-
like we listen.
I'm,
Now listen to me,
Don't-
Magpie.
don't
Okay,
point fingers at me.
if we add Gil, then no, we are not the arbiters of what is safe. You're right, but I think we can muster the other.
Because I feel like we get to that point, and then like by the time we realize, oh, we probably shouldn't have done that, we've already done it. Mostly because of Gil, but like
So
And Tom
as a
also
whole.
Yeah, top, yeah, it's all here and there.
So put
And
a
that
leash
also
on Gil,
yes.
I guess. He like has one of those little monkey backpacks with like
Oh,
the
I love
scrunchy leash
That's-
on it.
Kinky.
Oh, that's cute. Wait, what? Kinky? What do you mean?
That
Oh,
you put
buddy.
like on little kids.
I don't understand. Explain it to me like I was a legally viable aged adult.
Oh my.
He is, though. For those watching at home, he's in college. He's young, but he's not like weirdly. Okay, this is awkward. So the rune on the door, giant in
I have
nature,
no idea what's happening.
ancient
Can it also
Davic
cast
kind
aid?
of script. Yeah, you can cast aid, absolutely. Any preparatory work you want to throw out, go ahead and get that out of the way now.
Okay.
Is there any thing stopping me from ritually casting comprehend language?
Other than duration.
Cool.
If anybody else is going to do anything. But I did say I wanted from Quira and from Sarah perception check.
Yes, sorry.
And I put the aid on Kiara, Gale, and Cedric.
All right. So the two of you are kind of looking at the ground, and there's this very strange anomaly. It's like a small pile right about here. Kind of like a dark gray, almost black colored sand. And it doesn't look like it's neatly piled. It kind of looks like it's just a foray, a mess of this kind of dirt. And it also looks like a bit of it's kind of splayed out away from it, almost like it kind of expanded or burst outwards. And again, that's right about here. So about 3 squares away from the door.
Well, they did say someone tried to get into the crypt. Maybe that's what's left.
Queer, since your spot check was a little bit better, and since I think it would be kind of...
I want to do. I haven't done this thing before. Hold on one second.
Oh, I forgot.
Can I do
forgot to
Flash
give
of
guidance.
Genius?
This will just add your intelligence modifier to the roll.
Which is a 4.
Okay. So an 18.
So bring me up to 18.
Cool. So you would note that it does appear that the ceiling has a number of markings on it as well. These markings begin right above that. Well, rather, about 5 feet in front of that. And then there's one above that, one above the next 5-foot section, one above the next 5-foot section. These markings are also in kind of the Davic kind of looming giant script. You'd also notice that right near the pile, kind of almost obscured by it, is what appears to be a nice bundle, kind of wrapped in leather. Very similar to what you would expect to see for like a locksmith's tools or thieves' tools, as you might more colloquially know them.
Okay. Tomo, there's some. It looks like, I don't know, troll or giant or some type of text. Do you have a spell that will allow you to understand this?
If you wait.
Okay.
He says he's flipping through his book.
We're not in too much of a hurry. Look, it's all along the ceiling here.
Okay.
The word-
Starts cooking.
The runes are all different, is what Tomo would know for certain. So how you want to read them will be in your order. And again, I'll go ahead and ping again. It'll be one there, or sorry, one here on the 4th, one on the 3rd, one on the 2nd, one on the 1st, and then one on the door. So a total of 5 markers.
door
Okay.
first, second,
Mm-hmm.
third,
fourth. That's it.
and are they like in the middle of the?
They're
In the,
above and like in the center. Yeah.
in the center. Okay.
Okay.
This feels like hopscotch.
Do you want to try and get closer and not go under the runes to examine the? Okay. As you kind of get within shot of it, you see that the air in front of you, kind of closer to the door, starts to kind of have this strange waviness to it, almost as if you were staring like into a desert. Like it's almost got like a mirage-like sense to it.
Yeah.
And as you kind of linger there for a couple more seconds, a very unnatural effect happens. A wall forms directly in front of you, and you can see that several walls form behind it underneath the runes. The first wall that appears in front of you is bright red but transparent, and as it kind of shifts, you can see that the wall behind it is orange, the wall behind it is yellow, and the wall behind that is green, and the door appears to be covered with this bluish glow. And these kind of
Rainbow.
slowly
Yeah.
move through these cycles, each wall remaining the same color. If you have Arcana trained, you can immediately roll it now.
You know,
I'm on it.
character is probably not touching it. It's not smart, but me as a player wants to touch it.
Okay.
Can I even see it?
Can you?
Or is this like magic sight shenanigans?
Oh no, you can see it. It's physically visible. Yeah. So Tommel, as you're kind of flipping through the book, you can see that like Queer is kind of like, what the? Kind of like taken aback and doesn't understand what's happening. Scared is basically like not sure, kind of like head moving, trying to examine every aspect of it and think. But you kind of look up from your ritual and kind of stop for a second because you know exactly what you're looking at. This is a prismatic wall that has been broken into 5 different veils. It's also known as the sevenfold veil, but you're only seeing 5 parts. The veil is a very powerful bit of magic. The reason why you got it is because you rolled a 19. DC was 19 because the spell level is 9. The red layer, if someone were to pass through it, would burst them with a massive amount of fire damage, somewhere in the ballpark of 10d6. You're pretty certain that the way to destroy this layer, normally, would be to freeze the layer. There's a way to break each part of the wall, and if you want to look up Prismatic Wall, Tommel, since you got the DC, you certainly can. And basically each one of these will kind of have a similar end point to it. But it very much looks like the person passed through the first wall and then into a space in between it and the second wall and was completely vaporized to ash by the red wall.
So Tomo, if you pass through the first wall, does it go away or just stays there?
It stays there if you hold on. Da-da-da.
Sorry, with that.
That's okay. So we can move through it, but it can also be destroyed one layer at a time, essentially.
Correct.
Yeah, and you're basically making different checks through each layer of the wall, depending on which color that wall is. And different damage based on what wall you're going through. And different things can destroy different colors. So we'd have to go, it's like specific based on the thing.
Okay.
You know? Different things work for different colors on different walls.
Alright. So
You know?
yeah, I got what you're saying. But theoretically, if I pass through that wall, it would stay there even though I passed through it.
Mm-hmm.
Or would that... Okay. Thank you.
Cindrix, are you resistant to fire or immune to it?
I could become immune to fire.
Hmm.
I'll live for it.
The red one should be fine for you then.
Yeah,
Well,
but
but you
it'll
said
still be up. Yeah,
right.
it'll
It
still
would
be
still
up
be
if
up.
I go through it. So it will make no difference if I go
You
through it
could
or not.
also do 25 fire damage, or no, I guess not that, but you could also try blasting the blue one with fire damage to destroy it.
Ah, the blue one.
Ooh, that I can do, but
If you can do
So,
enough damage. But it
so
has to be all in, I don't know if it has to all be in one blow.
for the red
Doesn't
one, what do
specify.
we need to?
Red one would be like cone of cold or like something like that. You know?
I don't do that stuff.
Cindrix is like, ugh.
Ugh, cold. Ugh, shivers.
Well, I'm afraid I don't have that in my repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
It may be up to you, Tomo.
Oh, I don't think I do either. Nothing that's gonna do enough to destroy it. I mean, I might be able to chip away at it.
Yeah, it doesn't all have to be on one.
Okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I could chip a. Do I have anything? Not really. Yeah.
Then Mark.
I have a
No.
dagger that does cold damage.
There you
I
go.
think.
You can just stab it with the dagger. See what happens.
Do you want to walk over to it and inspect if that's possible, Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay. When you get closer to the wall, something happens very strange, Tommel, that you kind of... Huh.
Yeah.
The wall seems to make a shape that is Sara-shaped. Almost
Oh.
as if it's admitting her to pass through it.
Like the game show hole in the wall?
Like the game show Hole in the Wall.
I love that show.
Like the
It's a great game
manga...
show.
what was the name of the manga? Oh, gosh. Hold on.
Oh, it's that.
Hole in...
This hole's for me.
Yeah, this hole's for me. Manga. My brain is... Yeah, it's a
Junji Ito
Junji
one.
Ito one. It's called The Enigma of
my
Amigara
hole.
Vault.
That's a good read.
But yeah, it looks like it's willing to allow Sara to pass.
Not
So
normal.
it seems like you'll be fine. I don't know about the rest of us though.
Oh.
Do you wish to attempt to attack the wall with the dagger?
But I can't, right? Because it kind of like disappeared.
It's making a shape for you to pass through it. It's not making a shape that's like moving it away.
You can't like touch it, yeah.
Yeah, the wall's very large height and width. It's like 10 by 12.
Will the next wall, if I approach the next wall, will it let me?
Yeah, the second you step into this one or kind of standing in the Sara-shaped gap, the next one forms the same gap as if it's just like anticipating your movement forward.
I could also just finish this and read the runes before we start stabbing walls.
Yeah.
What's-
I'll let you finish. I'll walk back.
Cool.
Dude,
Yeah.
with all the knowledge you can before we start stabbing at.
Walls.
Hilarious.
I get stuck at the end of the rainbow by myself.
So,
Right.
if you wait
Feel
for
the rainbow,
the
taste the rainbow.
comprehend languages, it will basically denote that these are magic runes. They've been kind of put in place in here. They're ancient giant runes. And each one seems to denote an aspect of magic, which you are intimately familiar with as a mage. So they're old words for magic, so they're the kind of old designations of the what you would historically know as the god heart. So the first layer, which would be red, is Kernobosk. The giant rune would say that above. The second layer, the orange layer, would say where's my brain? Kind of an older designation for it is Fodis. Yellow would be Rock Doll. Green would be basically they're designating kind of different aspects of magic school-wise, if that makes sense. Oru for green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess now you can stab it. Yeah, Double says after sharing all of
Well,
that with you.
before we continue with the stabbing, I know that's everybody's favorite thing. Sarah, maybe you can go all the way to the door and simply extinguish the trap.
Yeah.
Or disable it.
Yeah, I'll walk down there and see what happens.
Okay.
Good thinking, Kiara.
So when you make it to the end, the symbol, the marker, looking at it more closely, the ancient rune is very triangular in shape. The bluish color does not seem to give rise to Sara-shaped void to allow entry. But once you made it to the door, what you notice is that at the center of the door, kind of in between the split, because it's a double door, almost as if it was kind of like locking the two together, is what appears to be a half a bowl that's been kind of just sealed onto the stone or shaped in a way to kind of allow it access. So basically it's like a bird bath that's been cut in half and then like fused to the doors. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Out of character, I'm thinking Sarah needs to like empty some of her blood in there.
She's holding a dagger.
Yeah. Is there any I think Kuyura can put two and two together, right?
Sure.
Yeah, Sarah, I hate to say this, but I wonder if the bowl is for you to prove your lineage, so to speak.
Makes sense. All right, I'm gonna cut my hand and spill some blood.
Okay. So when you do so, it enters into this trough and then kind of deposits itself between the two doors. You can watch it slither down into that space. The rune in front of you starts to glow, and you see a shape, an almost three-dimensional shape, kind of form in front of the rune for just a moment. It's a pentagonal trapezohedron that appears in the air before you. And for those of you that are behind Sarah, you watch as the wall directly behind her also dissipates, which leaves three walls in between you and Sarah. Sarah, as the blood finalizes and the shape kind of manifests and then vanishes, the doors creak open before you, and you can see that there are two more walls beyond, but they also have the shapes kind of appear in front of them and then vanish. The two shapes, or the two colors that you see beyond are indigo and violet. So kind of like a deep kind of purple and then a bright pinkish color that kind of pop away as soon as you kind of see them, really. The space in front of you, dynamic lighting, is strange. Directly in front of you is a small little alcove that's been kind of situated away. In that alcove, two great spears are kind of crossing one another. You'd actually recognize these as glaives, more precisely. The more old, ancient Ordris glaive, which isn't just like a one-sided sharp blade on a stick. It's in fact like a very large, broad-headed spear, but mechanically a glaive. There are two of them intercrossed, and then situated on the crux of the two spears is the skull of a person. just seated there. And you can see that it wasn't cleanly kind of dealt with before it was put up there, and it seems to have kind of like this kind of almost darkish colored residual materia kind of on the surface of the skull.
Ew.
Yeah. The broad blade spears, though, the spear blades are completely made out of bronze or brass. You're not sure which, but very kind of shiny, goldy kind of bronze metal. There's a door on the left, and it looked like one of the veils was kind of more blocking that than anything else. You're pretty sure that was the indigo one, and then the one that was kind of present and disappeared beyond that was kind of blocking your path to the right, which on map would be to the left. It does not look like there is a door there. That said, there is nothing that seems to grant access past the first three walls for the others.
Mm. What should we do?
And as far as movement-wise, Sarah, you are free to move through the wall still, and you are still free to move around at your pleasure. So if you wish to go back and like put your heads together with them, you can. And also the more often than not temptation for certain players to just go run off on your own and do what you want is also available as well. But something split the party.
I would walk back through and tell them what's on the other side and go from there.
Can we test
Right.
if like we can pass through together like as a chain? Like holding hands or locked arms?
Magically, mechanically looking at it, you're pretty sure that based on her
No.
movements, there is not going to be a wide enough window for anyone else to pass.
What if what about carrying Tommel?
Oh, yeah.
Yoda pack.
So you pick
I
up
mean,
Tommel,
I don't know what that's gonna do, but
and unless
just
you are putting
pondering.
him into yourself, you're pretty sure that as you move close to it, it's not opening wide enough for him to go through. It's only opening wide enough. Like if you hold him out extended, like like that, he's kind of like hanging there. It's like it's opening wide enough for your hands, but not wide enough for Tommel. So you're pretty sure if you push him through the red wall, it'll just melt him, but not your hands.
You're gonna have to eat him first.
You'll have like a nice chunk of Tommel that's like not burninated.
I can season me first.
So cook him, eat him, then put it through.
I think Syndrix is on board for that.
What?
Yeah. If you were to carry him like a baby, it would be very similar, but not as drastic. So if you had him close to the body, it would probably burn exteriorly, like him in the side and facial region. It doesn't seem to be a very wide opening that's opening for Sarah.
Okay. So the glaives are probably a puzzle because there was no mechanism for shutting off the.
Correct. You do understand a mechanism for destroying the walls, though.
Right.
You just need to deal damage to the first one, blow the second one, and do more damage to the third one.
And Tommel for sure doesn't have the cold cantrip, right? Whatever that is.
Such Ray of Frost.
Yeah, for anyone got Ray of Frost?
I don't have it. I could cast it once.
The most
But that
cold
doesn't get
damage
us
you
very
have
far.
is from the dagger.
The
The dagger.
The dagger.
And that's 1d6.
You haven't tried
I
it
mean,
Yeah,
Well, let's try it.
yet. Okay.
Okay.
If you just Sarah,
There's always ice
because
storm.
you're kind of able to get close enough to it to actually strike it without it murdering you. You start jabbing at the wall, and you do see that it starts dissipating. And if you continue on for a duration, eventually you hear kind of a glass-like crack and break. Then you hear the wail of a child, which sounds eerily familiar to everyone here,
Great.
like the first child. And then the wall breaks.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Sarah, your family was kind of fucked up.
Well, it Whose isn't though?
There.
Mine.
It's fine.
Oh,
I don't think my family was this fucked up.
you guys
Well,
weird
they
then.
just
And I
treat
have
me
demon-
like a kid.
And I have demon relatives.
We just did druid stuff.
The second wall, according to Tommel, has a solution as well. And what is it, Zach?
This is a strong wind, right?
Yeah,
Flap your wings really hard, Scarin.
Scarin used gust.
If you were to cast the spell
wait a
Gust,
second.
we would
He
be
do
cooking with
look
gas.
like a
Gust.
fully involved Rowlet.
No, I want him to use the Pokemon move
Come on,
gust.
move.
Okay, well, I don't know if he's got that one. But yeah, if he's got
We
a spell
choose you,
like
Scarin.
Gust, Gust of Wind, Wind Wall, there's a lot of druid spells, I think, that have kind of a wind effect. Most of these create a strong wind that would dissipate.
You're
as
now
well.
being called Gus. Arthur?
What's that, John?
I don't trust you.
Gust.
You cast Gust?
Gust.
I can't hardly hear you. You're coming in weird. Is everybody else hearing him coming in
Yeah,
weird?
I'm hearing him warbly
He's-
too. It's very underwater.
Oh, no, it's all the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the wind.
He's casting it.
Making a
while
hurricane.
He personally is in a
Hello?
wind tunnel.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
It's
Hello?
a little better, but you definitely do sound like you
Yeah,
are
I mean-
inside of something. Yeah.
You sound like you're outside.
Okay, you cast Gust, is what I think you said a couple of times, just to be sure. Yeah, after a fashion, casting Gust hard enough or long enough, you are able to push the wall down. The orange wall is down. The last wall that remains and you know its solution.
Wait, what color was it?
The next one in line was, I want to say yellow.
Yeller.
Or yellow.
It's force.
Lots and lots of
Ooh,
force
I got that
damage.
shit.
All force, baby.
Queera's like, boom, boom. Her gauntlets do the magical girl transformation.
Are the gauntlets a melee attack?
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Okay.
That's not good, is it?
If you kind of maneuver over to the wall and attempt the first time with the fist to see how it will work, I need you to make a saving throw. The saving
Okay.
throw in question is a dexterity saving throw.
That's better.
Yeah, we hear you better.
Yes.
Man, why did I get so bold? All right.
Okay.
Feels rubbing off
So
you.
that is a failure. So as you hit it, go ahead and give me damage for the fist. You can't miss the wall.
Okay.
And the wall can't miss you.
Oh my god, why is my brain suddenly not finding this? I have so many of these. Oh, okay. There we go.
Okay.
That's 8.
So you do some damage to the wall, but it reciprocates. You hit, you see the burst, you feel a detonation of lightning through your armor, and it kind of zaps you kind of in the chest and body region. You're snapped back away from the wall with kind of like a pop, like Jurassic Park, the kid on the fence.
Yeah, yeah.
And you kind of fly back with a bit of a singe. You take 45 points of lightning damage. And as you kind of look down at your kind of bluish tiefling skin, you can see that on the fingers of your hand, where you can see them out of the gauntlet, and as you kind of look and push back your sleeve at your arm, you can see this massive streak of purple all throughout that looks like the veins have basically been kind of discolored to the point where you have a lightning tattoo.
Nice.
Hey, that's
If you're
cool.
familiar with
That's
what those
pretty
are, like when
sick.
people get struck by lightning, they kind of like have these scarrings in their body. That it's a real thing that happens.
Right.
In real life.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty sick.
It's pretty dope.
It
Yeah.
is really
it is
cool
pretty
looking.
dope.
So it's not force.
But also, I extremely fucked
Force is what
myself up.
destroys it. Lightning is what it does.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then what did you? Okay.
Dealt 8 points of force so far, and we know the threshold for that, right? That.
60.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
A little bit of a way to go.
You got hurt a bit. Let me go heal you up a bit.
Thank you.
How many healing words you got? You can take it, right? Just keep popping healing words.
Oh no.
It might be a
all my
better play
spell
to like
slots.
cast the healing word when Queera gets knocked down.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Hit the fence, go down, healing word up,
Yeah.
hit the fence.
Okay, I'll
Oh,
take
that's-
7 back.
No.
That seems cheesing though.
I can also just cast magic missile a few times.
Okay. As many times as you like. Throw it all the damage out.
You've got more spell slots than I do, for sure.
So
Yeah, I don't have Thunder Wave.
2, 3.
So 9 plus 8 is 17.
1, 2, 3.
24.
So that's 2 first level. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, wait, I could do spiritual weapon and just keep on hitting it with that.
Correct. 30.
So you don't have to.
Oh man, that's funny.
35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
Late.
So it's got about 20 left. Do you want to hold off, Tommel?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you should
thanks for bringing that up now.
Just Wizard's Fury at it. Die, die, die!
To be honest, I forgot about it. I apologize.
Oh, okay. Well then.
It's
Oh,
been a long
another
time.
crazy insect that's going to require spells.
It's fun. It's not like we're going into a strange unknown place where spell slots might have been useful. It's cool.
If you cast spiritual weapon,
Okay.
it lasts a minute. What I will say
Yeah.
is you don't need to make your attack rolls. The damage that was remaining on it, it would basically be destroyed within a minute. So we're just going to go ahead and settle it.
I don't know. With a first roll like that, you never know.
It's an inanimate object. It's in place. You have to roll less than a 5 to miss. So it's fine. Basically, just to satisfy it, the second level spell slot will confirm the spiritual weapon will basically be dissipating by the time you start to muster in the next section. But the three walls will be dissipated.
I'm gonna use my harness divine power to regain the second level spell slot here.
Gonna have to take a short rest for that, I think. Or is that an action? For
No,
that?
it's just suspending
Yeah,
the
that's
use of
right.
my channel divinity. Yeah.
Arcane recovery is also what you can do if you'd like to, Tommel.
Yeah, I guess there's no reason not to.
Is there any other walls?
No, the 3 walls that were remained after Sarah's sacrifice have dissipated, and all 3 of them would have popped with a similar kind of glassy tone, followed by kind of the wail of a child. The first 2 you recognize. The first one would have been, the first 2 you recognize. The first one would have been the child from the Reigning Cenotaph. The second one would have been the child from the giant flying castle. The third one you don't recognize.
We're still hearing the cries, even though.
No, it's just a one and done. It's
Oh,
basically like when the wall breaks, it lets out a baby cry.
I don't like that.
Oh
I
god.
don't like that at all.
Thought I was gonna be off my game just because we missed a couple sessions and I went on vacation. Come on now, I'm gonna be creepy. I believe the question, eternal, is why are you like this? And it will
Why are you
remain
like
the
this?
question. It will remain the question. I will not allow it.
Someday we'll figure it out.
Nope, that's not in the cards for you folks. Not even in my tell-all. No. So when you get to the other side, as I mentioned, and for whatever reason it is not showing right, that's why. To the map layer.
Are we moving?
So there's a door, and then there's a hallway. And Sarah, I don't believe you have a light source. If you want to ignite one, you can.
Put light on you.
Okay. That works.
Either or.
Thank you, Cindrix.
Bright light.
Let me light the way.
20.
I'm gonna put the
20.
description in the
Saving.
chat.
Okay. So, inside of the space in front of you, the stone is much older, not as well worked as the lead up stone. It definitely looks like it is just kind of flagstone that's kind of been placed in these kind of ornamental square patterns, but it looks like most of the stone is kind of broken here and there. Unacceptable!
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I did not make it, so you can't do that. Now you cannot do that.
Didn't
So
mean
we
to. I
can
didn't
move-
see anything.
Now,
I hope you didn't.
Wait,
My
I don't
news
see
am I gonna
anybody's
die?
health bars.
So anyway, unacceptable. The room that you're looking into, and I'll move over to it so we can see it in stream as well, as mentioned, is flagstone, kind of ornate square patterns. There are a number of pillars throughout the space, 6 on either side, and it looks like the pillars, all from floor to 20-foot high ceiling, have these small little stone drawers in them with a very simple kind of handhold. If you have religion trained, you would recognize this as a columbarium. Basically, this is where people's ashes have been stored in these blocks.
I'm assuming the religiously trained folks would explain this for us.
Yes, of course.
isn't
Um,
that the
Jo-
running
I-
joke that we don't have any religiously trained people?
Tommel is.
Hey, Cindrix is too.
Yeah.
That's right.
The first cleric I've ever seen that actually took religion as a trained skill.
Wait, what? It's clerics though. It's like
We're throwing shade at Magpie.
That's a,
oh.
Listen!
it's almost
I
like
didn't
druids
need
taking
it.
nature, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
it's
the
almost
nature
like
joke.
Druids taking nature.
Wait, that reminds me. Did I ever complete classes on that, or am I still working on it?
Still working on them. You got
Okay.
3 more days.
And we still
John,
need to resolve like the
2 more days.
weird damage that we took from the last place that we.
Oh,
Pillaged.
right.
Being gotten rid of mine.
I think Gil and Tommel are the only ones who have any remaining.
Tommel never took any.
Oh, then never mind. It's just Gil.
Yeah, it's just me.
So, on the opposite side of the space is another double door. This one does have a marker on it, but instead of having a weird trough kind of in its center, it looks like it has regular ass door knobs.
Your ass.
They're
That's
kind of
Imagine that.
suspicious.
old,
That
regular ass doorknobs, but they're still doorknobs.
oh, John. By the way, I could see everybody's health.
Yeah, that's
also.
great.
Oh no, just like the numbers and all that. That we don't.
You can see most
okay.
people's health.
We discussed
okay.
it, so you are a working team that's functioned for a long time, so you know each other's, like, instead of
For
having
some
to go,
reason, we can't see Cindrix and Quiera.
you can't.
Guess we don't know him as
Cannot. Yeah, I guess we just don't know Quiera.
Don't do it.
as well. Cindrix hides
Here all
his
this time,
pain.
I still can't tell
Yeah.
when Queer's fucked up.
Well,
How about now?
Quiera just acts tough all the
Quiera,
time.
yes. Yes, now we can see both. They both
My-
just popped
okay,
in.
there.
John, my token's not updating right. Can you bring out can you put another one out and resize it?
Why
I don't think
would
I can resize it.
What do you need to resize it for?
Because when I tried to put it out before, it came out really like a little baby.
This is your token here, right?
Yeah, but see the time's
Yeah.
not right. I mean the time the HP value's not right.
the
Oh,
baby.
That's the little baby.
Oh, no.
What's the
They
HP
got
value?
combined. Well, it's right in the bubble, but it's not right on the. Like it just needs to be it needs to be redragged out.
Well,
So
no,
are we not-
I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Your max hit points is 62, right?
Right, but
The
what
bar
I'm
looks like
the
it's at
bar
a
is
third.
wrong. Oh, it does. So for me, my bar looks like it's at max.
So yours is half.
No,
You might
it's
want to refresh.
3162.
Oh, let me refresh.
Refresh.
Okay, let me refresh. I'm sorry.
And then we keep getting this baby token, which I don't want.
I'm sorry.
Go
Baby,
baby.
baby.
Kick the baby.
Kick the baby.
Kick the baby.
Any questions about the space in front of you? And I'll go ahead and start with Johnny.
Any questions about the space?
Yeah, anything
Sir?
you want to look at. The columbarium, space behind the pillars, door on the
I guess-
opposite side, door you just walk through, spears on the wall, skull on the spears. Anything you want to look at.
Can I see if there's like any weird markings around, like the ones you saw before, or
Okay, great. Go ahead and throw me a perception check. We'll come back to you. Tommel?
okay?
I should still have comprehend languages going from before, so I'm just looking to see if there's anything that needs to be translated on these
Sure.
probably
Okay.
same thing as.
Can I?
Only marking you see is the marking on the door opposite you. And the
Then I
door
will
opposite
go
you
to
has
that.
another giant rune. And the giant rune there reads very simply, nothing. Which you know in relation to the God Heart means the void, death, the end of all things. And that would be this one over on the far side, not the one you're close to. The one you're close to has
Got it.
no marker.
You mean that one over here?
Yeah, the one that you walked in next to, yeah.
Right.
No markings, regular door handles.
Allegedly.
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 Alright. Zach, you're going to check that. Cool. John, what's Scarin checking?
He was going to do the same thing that Cindrix did. Kind of look around.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check. Or you can help Cindrix with their perception check.
I was going to do my own.
Okay. And Johnny, I never got that perception check from you. At least it doesn't.
Oh,
look
it's
like
it's a 9 and the 2 from
So-
guidance, so it's 11.
Yeah, it's up there.
I got spiritual weapon, harness, divine power, druidcraft, light. Looks like roll 20 is being a cool guy.
Yeah, it's been struggling all night for me at least.
I can see
feel
it.
like it's been
I
chugging.
see it. Now.
Here, I'll put it in.
No, I see it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I have
Oh,
two
okay.
windows open at the same time. I can check it. Okay, cool. And then moving on. So Kimmy, what is Sarah doing?
Probably walking around behind the pillars and seeing what's in the entirety of this space.
Okay. So once you come into this space behind the pillar, are you going to the one on the left or the one on the right?
I probably go left first.
Okay. So you would see that the columbarium pillars are completely four-sided. So there are 4 different small alcoves. And looking at it, not being kind of architecturally savvy, your brain's kind of racked with how are all 4 of these presumably rectangular slots entering into the same pillar and not into each other. Because how would a shelf... I mean, you don't have a dresser with 4 sides, right? So your brain is kind of similarly like confused as to how that seems to be the case. But once you make it over to that other side, this wall here, this wall here, this wall here, and it looks like further down the way on that side there are stacked from floor to ceiling, a total of 5 small little bed-like alcoves. And on each one of those bed-like alcoves are the desiccated corpses of what you presume to be your ancestors. Each one of them seems to be equipped with some form of article in hand. And again, there's a total of 20 of them. But it definitely looks like they each kind of have some sort of thing that they're holding as they're kind of laid in state, with hands on chest and something in hand. You are already beginning, aren't you? You bad little cat. Can't believe this. I give you churro, I give you treats.
You send some faxes.
I treat you like a prince.
He's got to log into work.
I
It's his
designate
Yeah.
the fact that you're not supposed to go to the printer by putting everything on the printer, and you try to knock it all down? Don't you rabbit kick at me?
time. Have you ever thought of giving him his own printer to just...
No, because it would make noises, and that's what he wants, and then I would still be annoyed, so...
And what kind of world do we live in where cats just have their own printers?
Corporate
Right.
America, baby.
21st
There
century.
you go.
Maybe in some kind of
You got a
utopia.
better use for all those HPs from 2004.
There you go.
Yes.
Oh, I kind of want to get him a 3D printer so he can print his own toys, but he still wouldn't play
Send
with
me
them
some
because he'd be too
Kyocera's
busy.
if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Cat
me about
toys
that
of the
on stream.
dystopian cyberpunk future.
For
Utopian,
sure.
you mean
Oh my
utopian.
But yeah, 20 corpses, several small hallways, and it looks like they lead to places of more specific honor. On the back wall, there are a total of 3. On the south side, 3 more sound and structurally like significant sarcophagi. It looks like from your positioning here, this one over here is open, and a hand is laying out of the opening. Desiccated, but slightly more recent. Like, it's kind of hard to judge the difference between like 50 to 100 years, right? But I guess the best way to kind of describe it is the bodies that are kind of laying there kind of have like a very tight skin to the bone. You can very much tell there's a skeleton there. There doesn't look like there's any muscle material. It's just kind of like this tight drum-like skin that's kind of connected to the remnants beneath. The hand that's kind of leaning out looks like there's a bit more to it. It's not as like completely like, you know, bone tight. It definitely looks like it's just kind of a bit more thickums.
No.
Flop the hand.
So it's just the hand is sticking out.
The hand is sticking out almost as if they were like reaching out. Yeah.
Oh.
It's not moving.
Reminds me
You
of
stare at it.
Skyrim
Hashtag buried alive.
You laser lock onto it. Like, you're looking at it and you're just waiting. And, like, the glade is, like, slowly coming up into the frame. But it doesn't move. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't jump out. You can obviously, you know, Ash, like, from Army of Darkness it if you want. But that's up to you if you want to do that or not. Or if you get the reference. That's up to you as well. It's a trick, get an axe, and then you swing at the thing that is trying to play dead.
No, I know, but I want to look inside. I want to look and see. Like, am I able to see, like, was he, like, maybe wearing a ring that got pulled off or something?
He's wearing a dozen rings. It almost looks like there's, you know, a gaudy amount of rings on this hand as you kind of get closer, and the light swaying from the glaive is kind of catching this tacky gold and silver and bronze, like, kind of jewelry. It's a mismatch of kind of all different styles, being a bit more of a noble, kind of you know, cosmopolitan individual. You would recognize craftsmanship from dwarvish, from elvish, from all different kinds of different, you know, societies besides Ordric. And it looks like everything is where it should be on the hand. It doesn't look like anything was removed from the hand.
And if I look into the sarcophagus, can I see anything from the little bit that's opened, or?
Yeah, you kind of raise the glaive, kind of moving the light, you know. If you've ever kind of looked into, you know, like a dark recess of a desk or whatever, and you gotta, like, get the flashlight just right to be able to see the spot, you're able to kind of move the glaive up and down and kind of finally catch it, and you see that the hand's kind of up and out, right? And, like, right behind it, kind of almost leaning up, but not so much, like, just by tilt, not so much by actual, like, gravitation or defeating of gravity. The head's kind of like looking up at you. The eyes have diamonds in them, like they have been replaced completely with full-size diamonds, like very massive looking diamonds. The teeth are all gold, and the skin is kind of like a bit taut, but like I said, not as taut as the others. There's an almost kind of like strangely kind of patterned nature to the core. Who's talking?
Magpie's not muted.
Okay. There's like an almost kind of like tightness to the face, but it almost looks like it was kind of formulated that way to look like it was, you know, preserved.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the galaxy.
Hold on a second. Bear with me here for a second. I am going to mute her when she gets back. Someone tell her she's muted.
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave that man alone and walk away.
Okay. It looks like she's off the phone, maybe. I could ask to unmute. Okay, cool. So then, walk away, you said.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next person. Zijo. What's Queera doing?
Okay. From the way that the map looks, is this like has this been like busted open?
If you look down that way and kind
Yeah.
of peruse, it does look like a part of the sarcophagus to the north has been broken off. Yes.
Can I kind of investigate it to see if like this looks like it happened recently? Does it look like something came back to life and busted out?
Go ahead and give me a survival roll, and I will get back to you. And it looks like Magpie stepped away. So we are going to roll through everyone at the same time then. So, Scarin, you detect what Syndrix was unable to. It looks like the ceiling has a very kind of high ceiling in here. It's about 30 or so feet, right? But it looks like where the columbarium pillars stop, there's these very ornate looking kind of column tops. If you're familiar with like Corinthian, Doric, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not those. It's very much its own unique thing, but it very much kind of falls into the veins of that kind of styling for the top of the pillar. And they kind of come up into the ceiling in a way that's very organic looking. It's
They were carved.
it definitely looks like they were carved, but like what I mean is like it doesn't look like the ceiling is sitting on top of them. It looks more like they are a part of the ceiling. Does that make sense?
They were carved from like this whole room was
right.
carved
The
out.
ceiling was carved with these pillar seats,
Right.
And then
Right,
pillars
right.
were kind of set underneath them with the holes for the columbarium slots.
Right.
Right. On the ceiling, painted across it in slightly decaying paints, appears to be a very strange and yet familiar depiction of what you know to be the creation of the three sites of interest, the three nameless children.
Well, I pictured that Scarin would be like up there, like flying, like being like, and he's like, "Hey, everybody, look at this! It's the babies."
For everyone else, the sound of Scarin's wings and then kind of yelling down seems to move through the space with a very strange acoustic, which very much kind of fills the room with Scarin wing beats and kind of voice. It's strangely eerie how well the sound carries throughout the space. And after the sound stops, with the exception of the wing beats, because obviously he's not grounding immediately, the thing that you notice the most, and I would say that Tommel, it's probably you who catches it like the fastest, just due to the pace. But you can hear your own heartbeat kind of resonating through your body, as if the acoustics of the place are allowing for you to hear your internals, like, resonating. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. That's weird.
Pretty cool.
And
does that exist out just inside of like the doors?
It's inside of the entire like crypt here that you kind of have entered into. If you were, it didn't exist in the hallway.
Right.
And then,
Tommel wants to walk back out into the hallway, and can someone like make a noise inside of the crypt for a sec? I just want to see if like the sound travels out or if it's like soundproofing inside of the crypt.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah. So you would kind of hear the wing beats from Scarin and Scarin's retort to your request, and it definitely is audible, but you're very confident that the further you go away from this place, the more muted it would be, because it sounds muted to you like right at the door.
Got it.
So you're pretty like you're confirming your consideration there. It's some sort of sound dampening situation. On to the next beat. Clear. You inspect it. You're looking at this sarcophagus lid. You see that you're looking at the feet, kind of wrapped in like kind of royal silks that have kind of desiccated a bit themselves. The broken piece kind of fallen off to the side. Looking at it, you realize that it appears to just have naturally kind of fallen away, and you're able to discern this because you, unlike everyone else, are able to hear something very specific where you're standing. Drip, drip, drip. And when you look into the basin of the sarcophagus, you can see that it's about maybe 6 inches filled with water. And the water has kind of taken on kind of a briny, kind of soup-like
Yeah.
You know that news story where they found the guy inside the box and there was like the red liquid and everybody wanted to drink it, including me? It's like that, which is why you should drink it. I mean, don't drink it unless you want to. Don't let me make you decide what you want to do, because that's not what DMs are supposed to be doing. The point is it looks like it broke off and kind of became loose and over time kind of slipped and fell away. Just based on its positioning and its weight. Your survival check tells you that this didn't get broken off. It kind of just over time, it cracked, and then gravity kind of did the work and caused it to fall to the front.
And then it filled up with
The
water.
sarcophagus is still filling with water. It doesn't look like it's based on the dripping consistency. You're pretty sure that it would have filled up by now, especially if this is older than the Storm Herald and the process of throwing people off cliffs.
Mm-hmm.
Your presumption is that it seems to be leaking somewhere that you don't see.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to do with that. So.
Well, I suggest to drink it. That's just one option. Certainly can do that if you wanted to, but
I'm trying to think who in the party would be most likely to
Gil.
drink.
Gil.
it's
Gil is adventurous, but he's not nasty.
Yeah, that is pretty gross for sure. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
Karen,
That's so scary.
What?
Birds can't taste anything. They're good.
Is that
Birds
true?
Can't taste it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that makes
man.
sense in my mind. Sure.
Well, that's why they eat chilies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They love
Yeah, that's why they
chilies.
can't tear spin.
Or maybe it's because they like baby back ribs. Do you ever think about that?
What?
Mm.
Oh my god, my brain just had to do all kind of
A flip. It had to do a flip.
Who?
Do a flip, asshole. I love it.
And they say white people have no culture.
I have no culture.
So true.
So
It's
wonderful.
not one
I mean-
worth saving.
Damn.
Chilies.
If you need Gil to drink something,
Anyway.
Gil will drink it. Just to catch you up real quick, in case you missed it. Room has great acoustics. There's a sarcophagus that seems to be filling up with water coming in from somewhere else. And the stuff that's in there is...
hold on. This is body water.
It's like you know that news story where there was that red substance that was in the sarcophagus with that dead guy from thousands of years ago? Or hundreds of years ago?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that.
Is this like when you made us drink the weird
I never
kidney
made you do
juice
anything.
and
I'm
shit
not that kind of DM. I would never make you
in that-
do anything you don't want to do. Now, I would put it on the table and say maybe it's a good idea to do this horrible, horrific, awful thing. But I would never
Time when you
make you
force
do
people
it.
to.
the jars
Isn't there
with the
a-
weird shit in it that we drank that one time?
Yeah, I didn't make you
I'm
Not
do
sure
it.
you
this
force
one.
people to
Yeah,
push
that
buttons
was
just
kinda
because
nasty.
you wanted to do it.
What's that, John?
But- I'm pretty sure you force people to press buttons.
Oh, no, I would never do that.
Never do that.
Not even one time. Okay, I might have done that. Okay, so...
So, I mean, I will point it out to everybody, including Gil, absolutely not assuming that Gil will try to drink this sarcophagus ragu. So,
Absolutely not.
Tommel,
okay.
as I
Protein.
He
mentioned,
apparently has a line, and that is it.
the rune on the door that you were inspecting on the far side does have the marker of death, the void, nothing. If you approach it to kind of inspect it more closely, obviously scanning the room for traps, not wanting to do anything bad, you stop for a second and just look back the way you came because you're kind of also sensitive about the acoustics measure. And as you're kind of walking back to do that, you would see that for a moment, or at least when you're closest to the death door, the door on the opposite side has a marker as well. The marker on it is the same kind of giant Davic script rune, and it's the opposite. So this would be the
What?
marker for the lost, or all things besides the God Heart, besides magic.
So nothing and something.
Something and something and nothing. Correct. That is accurate.
Nothing and something.
But why
For
put a
once.
door if there's nothing behind it?
Well, it's
Maybe
more or
there's-
less destruction of things and then creation of things. I guess is a better way of describing these two markers.
Does the sarcophagus goo smell like you would expect it to smell?
No, actually, it doesn't really have like a scent to it. That isn't kind of just the room that you're in, which is kind of like an earthy kind of stone kind of smell. That almost has like a pinch of saltiness. But like if you like pick up the liquid and like put it to your face, there's a bit of a scent, but it's not like aroma. There's not like a you know,
Like ode to rotting corpse?
yeah, it's not emanating kind of the scent.
Like what you would expect it to smell like.
Right. The scent has had plenty of time to kind of settle.
Did you scoop up some water in your hand?
No!
Okay.
I thought Queera did.
Oh, I was gonna ask,
Not
are
in
you
your
gonna
hand,
drink
but,
my
like-
ancestors?
Ew, God. No, that's too much. Ugh.
At some point, we should probably get like water out of there. I don't think they appreciate being flooded in water. I know I wouldn't.
It's fine.
What?
They're Storm Herald, right? You gotta get wet at
Right?
some point.
Out of curiosity, I don't see anything with my magic eyes, do I? Like the hand on the corpse, none of that jewelry is magic. Nothing in here is
Oh.
glowing.
Well, the
I have
rune
free. Yeah, the
on
runes.
the door is glowing. The door that has a rune sometimes but doesn't have a rune, when you're closer to it, it's glowing. The weird water has a glow to it. The rings, just kind of open air stuff, they all have a glow to them.
Does
And on the hand,
on.
there's basically a total of, I want to say, 13. So it's 1 on the thumb, 3, 3, 3, and then, like, it's technically 1, but it's actually segmented into 5 pieces. I'm bad at counting. It's 15. 15 rings on the hand.
and they're all glowing?
All of them, yeah.
I mentioned that.
But it doesn't look, and I might have asked this already and I forgot, but you said it didn't look like anything was missing. Like, cause you know how
Yeah, nobody
There
took
might have
anything
been.
off of them, yeah. It
Mhm.
looks,
there might have been an indentation or something where there might have been a ring.
Right.
Okay.
Also, looking at it, like I said, it's kind
Doesn't look like there's enough room to have even fit another ring on there if it wanted
Well,
to. There's 15 rings on
and
that
yeah,
hand.
Jesus.
the better statement too is like it definitely looks like if you were trying to secure these rings, because again they are your birthright, technically you own
Mhm.
these, but if you were to try to secure them, you're not going to be able to do so
You
without
have to break the hand.
kind of wrecking the fingers. Yeah. Because they're not; these aren't bony fingers that we're looking at. These are the ones that look like they've been kind of puffed up posthumously to kind of like create a more living look.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like the Skyrim
They're
skeleton
not. No,
dudes.
the ones that are in the slots are more like Draugr, if that's what you're leaning towards. The ones that are inside the box look like they were kind of like done up by like a funerary kind of rites person to look like they're still living, even though it's probably like plasticine and kind of other mediums that are kind of put into the skin to make it look like they're still alive.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
they do not look alive. They just look like it's that weird uncanny valley kind of like oh, and also a bit of age to it. So it's a double whammy.
And Tommel said everything was glowing.
Hmm?
Right?
All the rings are. Yeah.
And the
There's
water
goopy
is
water.
too. Yeah, the goopy water. The doors.
I have cook's utensils. Can I like catch some of the dripping water in a cup?
Sure.
Does that water glow?
No.
I mentioned that too.
Okay, so there's officially no reason for me to drink the goopy water.
Oh, no, there's
drink
plenty
the
of
goop-
reason now. I'm saying like the water isn't special falling down. The water is special in the goop. The goop is glowing. Not the
Okay.
water falling from the ceiling. I caught the water and that's just water. Once it hits the goop, it
Oh,
becomes magic. That's what I was testing to see if we could
okay.
just drink cave water, which we cannot drink crypt water from the ceiling. We have to drink goop if you want to get the magic in you.
Well,
For those who
it
aren't
kind of
aware of the Discord, I just posted a Gwyneth
If someone
Paltrow gift.
explain to him that it's magical and like
That's
they
the thing
need
that
to
I think
drink
it
it to
is.
do things.
Oh.
I don't know if you need to drink
I
it.
mean-
It could be topical. You rub that shit all over your face. Could be a suppository. I'm not well versed in this magic.
Well,
okay.
Well,
Before everyone starts shoving grave goop up their ass, let me say
I was gonna say real quick. Typically, the method for suppositories in ancient Ordric would be to swallow a metal tablet. I can't remember the name of the metal, but basically it would function similarly. It would act as a kind of laxative, I think. I can't remember the
well,
name
no,
of
we
the
want the opposite of a laxative.
metal. What's it called? Antimony pills.
There you go. There you go.
Antimony pills.
Oh God.
Not me.
So what I'm thinking is
What is
the
happening?
relevance here is that there is enchantment or abjuration in this. This is all in clear accent. There's abjuration in this place that unlocks because of the presence of Zara's bloodline of her ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
So that goop is that boiled down to its essence. So I guess as we're talking about this, Zara, I know this may seem very insensitive right now that we're talking about the remains of your ancestors in this way. But unfortunately, we do not have a lot of other leads. I don't know if it is too disturbing for us to, let's say, take a vial of your ancestors' remains that have been so liquefied.
So liquefied.
I'm fine. I'm fine with it within this group. I wouldn't want anyone else coming down and helping themselves to my uncle's or grandfather's soup.
Oh, well, it's a good thing there's really strong
Like,
protection.
Gil is
Oh,
literally
wait.
just like,
Kind of felt like this was coming, and then we were gonna have to take a taste.
Yeah, but I might
Take it.
be able to stomach it.
Okay. Well, before we start shoving
I don't like it.
into our bodies, Quiyura would like to, try to see if she can't use her, like tinker's tools and cook's utensils or whatever the fuck to put it into some vials, and we can fill up enough vials for each person to have a vial.
Oh, let's please do that.
Is this
Speaking of vial,
What?
Yeah.
right?
Get a vibe.
Yes,
Fucking
Jonathan.
right?
Meddling with the remains of the dead. Right?
okay.
Is this cult? I don't know. Maybe it is.
Maybe.
Everything's cult in the end.
Hey, while this is all happening and they're doing the discussion of the back and forth, you want to go cast Identify on those rings, Tommel?
Yeah, if she...
It's so easy. And I was right the first time. It is 13. I don't know why I said 15. My math is bad, but it is 13. There are, after kind of like taking a second and counting and doing your math and checking your stuff and casting your ritual, they are each a ring of resistance. There are 13 of them. There is a ring of resistance for each damage type on that person's hand.
Oh.
Oh, Sarah.
All right, let's chop it off and take it. It's better.
Yes!
Just mention the ring of resistance and
also,
the fingers come off.
From one of our coolest people in the community, just recently. No, what? I don't want Disney. Stupid, dumb thing. It's too big. I can't make it small. Okay, fine, perfect. Nailed it. Yay! It's in memes also. But anyway, good gloop. Got the good gloop.
Get the good gloop.
So are we eating that gloop?
Yes.
We just got a potion of it, right? We're just putting them in vials.
Well, okay.
Potion of gloop.
Quiyura would discourage people from eating the remains of a human person unless, we absolutely have to. I mean, maybe it'll be enough to just like carry it on your person, right? Everyone's
drink
like,
person
I'm
in case of
not
emergency.
convinced. I think we definitely have to put this
What
up
type of
our
action
ass.
is that?
So we're gonna move it.
Just based on internet cautionary tales, I would not suggest putting up your ass while it's in the jar. Just based on internet.
Should we freeze it into a
tales.
popsicle first? Is that what you're saying?
I think
that's the play.
I think popsicle rectal insertion is probably better than jar plus. Yeah, no, because then you'll be getting some
ice storm.
You'll get some gloop that you are creating.
Game will replay that even more.
Maybe.
Let me tell you about a succubus real quick. Blow your mind right off the face of the fucking planet. Anyway, you quickly kind of extract a number of jars worth. Quiyura, how many jars do you have?
I mean, I don't know how many jars would come with like a tinker's tool and cook's utensils kit or
I
whatever?
don't think any. Let's check. Cooks.
Hear me out.
Cooks
Hear me out.
utensils.
That hand has 13 rings. What if someone puts all those rings on and takes a small sip? I mean,
I'll say 5 in the cook's utensils because it's very vague on that.
I like that.
I'm gonna have resisted to everything.
You can only
True.
attune to 3 of those at maximum.
Oh, 3.
What about the herbalism kit?
Oh yeah, herbalism.
Oh,
So I have one I can offer.
I think those would probably be more like little
Um,
satchels or like small little like
No, because you can make
So like
potions with the herbalism
it's like
kit.
a
No, for
it's like
sure.
a-
But it'd be like a
There
little,
you go.
like a Capri Sun.
I love that. Yeah.
a Capri Sun.
Like a little
Capri Sun and
bladder,
glue, please.
a little
Can
bladder.
I have the Capri Sun
I'm
goop?
joking, obviously.
Yeah.
Or herbalism kit. I think you need a
Damn
potion or you need a vial to actually make the stuff. It's its own separate item.
We don't
But
joke about
I
Capri
am
Sun,
going to
darn.
be kind, and I am going to say since these tools are required in the creation of them, if you have a tool set, it has 2 jars with it, and that's it. That's all I'm giving you. Buy jars. You want to know who a pro at buying jars is? Zach Wilbur. That guy. He's the one to look out for. The guy has all of the jars.
Is this some kind of Elden
Herbalism
Ring
kit.
reference?
This kit
No,
contains a
that's
variety
a
of
D&D
instruments.
reference. On Sunday, that guy is like, "What's that? They're empty jars. Fucking all of them. I will take all of them and put them in a bag." And so he's just walking around a dungeon, clink, 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 clink.
Never
He's
know
got
when
all
you
this
need a
glass.
jar.
So I don't know if I'm hearing this correctly. You saying that I could find 5? Is that what I heard?
You have one toolkit.
Well, okay. I have cooks, I have smiths, I have thieves, and I have tinkers.
Okay, so the tinkers I'm not going to give you. The cooks I will.
Okay.
I'll give
Says
you two.
vials.
I'll give you 2 for it.
Okay, 2 for cooks. What about Scaren's herbalism kit?
2 for it. So total of 4.
That's 4. Okay. We could put one in. We could put some in Tommel's cup. Cook Tommel, are you okay with that?
The little sippy cup for Tommel. I guess.
No.
Okay, so that's 5. Well, then Sarah doesn't need one because she has her, ancestors' blood already in her. So that's 5.
Clear souping it out. Huh? You got any Ordric in you? Want some?
Oh my god.
Oof.
Yikes.
We're terrible people.
What is this?
So are we
fucking
all storm
episode
heralds now?
entitled? Oh, Into the Past.
Is this like Captain Planet with our powers combined?
Oh my god, yeah!
With our
Oh,
charms
no.
filled with gloop combined.
Water.
Oh,
Oh, and now we have rings. We have 13 rings now.
Yeah.
13 rings? Oh, we all.
Yeah, 13 rings.
This is the globe planets here.
I don't know what the bludgeoning kid like what he did, but luckily we don't have Heart on the list because that kid. Sorry, he was the lamest one.
Aww.
Like everybody else could shoot like lasers and shit, and he's like, what?
He made friends with everyone.
He was required to summon Captain Planet. That was his best power.
You weren't necessary to the equation. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's
Wow, that's harsh.
It's the truth, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't.
Okay.
So Death Door, unopened sarcophagi. Columbarium's also unopened. Door that you walked past when you entered in, which appears to have the kind of weird rune that appears at some points and doesn't at others. And yeah.
So we're not going through the death door. We're gonna go back through and see through the something door.
Well, is this the death door?
That's the death door.
And this door says what?
Nothing at some points, but when you get closer to the death door, it says life or creation.
So this door makes
Death
clones, and then this door recycles them. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think Sarah, you will have to be our leader here in this place of your ancestors for sure. I will follow directly behind you.
Okay.
Okay, roll 20. What's happening? Oh, I see. You're being silly.
Can I step through, John, or wait?
Okay, so if you walk back to the door on the far side, it has normal door handles. It looks like it has no markings on it when you get close to it. And when you place your hand on the door, you can feel some resistance, but eventually the door opens. You can hear a mechanism break inside of it when you do so. Like, it's not a very forcible thing. You just kind of have some resistance, not like a huge metric of it, especially with your, swollenness. And like, yeah, it breaks, and the door kind of falls open on both sides. It doesn't look like those will ever be able to be shut using the door knob mechanisms ever again.
I'll just kind of say back behind me, be aware, I think there might be traps further ahead.
In the space ahead of you, you see, most importantly, directly ahead of you, there are signs of light present in this space. It almost seems like they're small little traces of light off to the side here. I'm going to snap ping that for you. And signs of light kind of here as well. Yeah. There's also flowing water directly in front of you, and something kind of floating in the water that seems to be dead. Kind of just floating about in the water. It almost looks like a big, like, bug / lobster creature. Have we fought Chul before?
Could you ping again?
think so.
I didn't see anything on my screen.
Sure. Here and here.
Okay, signs. Okay, gotcha.
Kind
gotcha,
of like
gotcha.
off in the distance though, and then in the water is moving. It's not moving like at a huge like speed. It's not like whoosh, but in the water, like I would say the water's probably like 3 feet deep, maybe. But it looks like the kind of sides of it look like it would have held more water at an earlier point. But in the water, there appears to be something kind of floating, kind of dead floating in the water. And it looks like a big lobster creature. I don't remember if we have fought Chul. Have we fought Chul in this game?
I think so, in that like weird place with all the headless bodies.
Oh, that sounds hella familiar. But a Chul...
And like they came up from under the ground and under the grates.
No, that was
No, that was Umbo.
But those were like weird bug lobster things.
Yeah, bug lobsters. That's what we're talking about.
A different kind. Different kind.
Hold on.
Is there another kind of bug lobster?
This is what they look like here.
Yeah, in
Maybe
5e there's all kind of freaky
Wait, that's
things.
that's the thing from the Tomb
And there was
Annihilation
like-
game, T-show, right?
No.
They were talking about the lobster people, and it's like,
Chul. They're
Who's
not
that?
people. They don't do really much of the...
Are they sentient?
they were.
They don't people.
Iffy.
No. I think they have a less than 6 intelligence.
Okay.
They don't speak, I don't think.
Okay. There's scary
Based on their
lobsters.
looks alone, obviously they got a low charisma, am I right? Jeez.
What do you? Oh, poor guy. Come on, just because he wasn't asked to be born like that.
Yeah, well,
Come
it
on.
doesn't change the fact that he was. I'm so sorry for the words I say sometimes.
I mean, I didn't ask to
Are
be
you?
exposed to it, so
That's fair. You didn't ask to be exposed
Here
to
we
it.
are.
That's also a good point. Well done. But another thing you'll note is that this cavern that you're entering into looks like there was an attempt to work the stone, but it looks like it was kind of abandoned or it was removed. Um, it definitely looks like the signs of workmanship end in kind of a broken smattering of flagstones directly in front of you. The pillars ahead of you have no markings or any indication that they are um, of a matter like that's made. But those of you who are not looking in dark vision see something a bit different with the light that I mentioned, and also with the light that you're dispensing. On the ceiling and all throughout the space, there are stalactites and kind of stalagmites, up and down, and then the pillars that form therein. And in throughout, interlaced in all of these spaces, there's kind of this glowing radiance that snaps back on you depending on how the light from the glaive hits it. Like there are these calcifications on parts of the stone and other parts of the walls that is like crystalline and reflective. As you kind of look at the water again and at the creature floating inside of it, it looks like the creature is entirely encased in that crystal.
Okay.
We're not crossing that,
Don't
are we?
that.
Is this some kind of natural or arcane effect that we would have knowledge about?
No,
Do
it
you
would be a
think?
natural. I guess it would be a
A nature
natural.
check.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a nature check.
No one has that trained.
I do.
Oh shit!
Zara
Zara
does.
That's right, our
Zara does.
barbarian.
Oh, thank fuck.
Can I guidance that?
That must be the druid.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's fine.
I want to use my
Can I
thing
just-
too. I want to use my thing.
Wait. And take the guidance. Don't light your way.
So that's a +4. For a
That
17.
D- Oh, and also roll the D4 from guidance.
And roll a d4.
Okay. That'd be 19 altogether.
19.
Okay, so this is a pretty simple process of kind of calcification, but it appears that the calcification that's formulating is salt. And the salt has kind of solidified into a kind of more rigid crystal than typical salt. Salt typically has a very kind of high break point, but because of the space that we're in, having kind of a strange kind of nature to it, it seems to kind of create these hard, almost quartz-like crystals that are completely made out of salt that attach to certain points throughout the space, and seems to be most prevalent around where the water enters into the space.
Let me ask you a question. And this is, I don't know if I'm like just being paranoid or if this is. Okay, so this is a
It's
question.
probably that. Let's go with that. Okay, moving on to the
No.
Also,
Does-
I can hear you talking because of the tinfoil in your kitchen. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, god
Oh
damn
my-
it.
Go with the paranoia.
Okay, so it doesn't look like this this lobster became, it wasn't like a flash spell or something that
No.
like encrusted it. It seems like since it's been rolling around in this water, it has over time accrued a
From this distance,
crust.
that's a
Okay.
fair guesstimate, but
Okay.
you would not be able to tell for certain the demise of the creature or its cause of death without getting closer and inspecting the corpse proper.
I would like to kind of survey as we enter for any possible dangers, hazards.
That
traps.
makes perfect sense. Go ahead and make a perception check.
I guide Yura.
Yeah,
I also
absolutely.
make one.
It's also fine too.
I didn't mean to.
So it sounds like this lobster is already seasoned. Is this?
It
gonna
sounds
be
like it's a rock lobster.
Rock lobster!
The salt rock lobster.
Okay,
So,
not too much.
I-
though.
So with my guidance, that's a 10 total. So
Yeah.
I think
There doesn't
we
appear to be
need
anything wrong or
rely on Scaren's owl eyes.
What does Garen get?
25.
Yeah, so the stalactites on the ceiling, there appears to be one that's directly over top of the Chul's corpse that looks like it's made out of a darker material than the others. And
Oh, it's one of our friends, isn't it?
there's an almost
Those,
strange sense, like there's like this strange sense in the back of your head, like you feel like you're being watched.
Seen these before.
What are they scaring?
It's the snaps fingers. Doesn't have nature trained.
Right.
Oh,
When we were in the, you remember the windy dragon?
Oh, is it one of them little tentacle duties?
Yes.
I mean, those
Okay.
big
That's what I'm
tentacles.
thinking. That's what I'm thinking of. I forget their names.
I think his name was Charlie.
Aren't? That was more the
Possibly.
build personally.
Or it was a
I don't know, I didn't really introduce myself, so I'm not sure what he's called.
it's definitely not part of the rock fixture, so that's probably what salted our what we're seeing there. So we would definitely want to make caution if we're moving forward. And watch, and I'll point. It's right there, you said?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Right above the Chul, the thing that's floating in the water.
Right.
Shall we try to get the first hit in, you think, or do you want to try to avoid it? Can't look at the group.
Shit.
I think we need to keep pushing forward.
If we want to keep pushing forward, we're probably going to have to go through it.
Problem. Water there.
Scaren, make an insight check.
Yeah.
Inside check.
It's really good. So you hear your own voice in your head, and you think that these are your thoughts that are being displayed in your mind. And it sounds like you're kind of creating self-doubt in your head. But with that insight check, you realize that the voices that you're hearing that appear to be yours, your internal monologue, is someone else using your voice to try and tell you that that is not what you think it is. It is something totally unassuming and not a problem. That is going on in your head right now.
So he'll chuckle and he'll say, "Yeah, that's definitely something trying to make me think that's not an actual stalagmite. So that is something we will have to deal with."
You hear, and this is audible for everyone, a voice kind of echo through the space. And in a very kind of strange dialect of common, you hear, "What dost thou wish in this space, child of the sky? Do you bring me supper?"
I'll myself say, "You talking to me?"
You would think about the wording, child of the sky, and you're pretty sure that's not relative to you. But it does sound like it might be a different moniker for the Storm Herald.
Well, I guess I'll say that, and then I'll look over at.
And this is for
Sarah.
everyone. The voice is booming. It's like it's actual, like, it's not in your
Okay.
brain. It's happening out loud. So yeah, everyone probably does like a quick, like, back and forth take between
Which
Sarah,
sky person?
Sarah and Scary.
Yeah.
Like which one?
Which
One goes in
By
the
sky.
air. One
You have to be more specific.
is technically, I guess, a part of the air. Can fly a ship. Yeah.
And then my dad never told me we had a pet down here you feed. I don't.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there anything in this space that is of my family's lineage down here?
Of course, there is.
It's talking to me.
Speaking out loud.
Or can we freely move about this space? Or
These are not for me to dine upon.
no?
No.
Was I supposed to bring you tribute? Did
There's a
my
moment where
ancestors?
you feel something kind of like lingering in your head. It almost feels like a migraine just kind of settling for a second, and then it kind of washes away. Then you feel it again. It was almost if it's like someone like took that migraine and then just dropped it from a great height on your head. Make a wisdom saving throw, Sarah.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
You feel that weight pierce the veil of your mental kind of being and kind of run the gamut through your head for a moment and kind of just like a kid running into a candy store looking at everything and wanting to see every single thing. This is what this entity does inside of your mind, and then it alleviates itself from your head, and then you hear, "Your father always did."
he was murdered quite recently, and it has not passed on the histories of this place to me.
Ah, I could sense that a bit about you. These ones you care for,
I do very much.
I shall not devour them. The large black stalactite that was kind of pointed out by Scaran, you watch as a eye opens on it and kind of looks amidst the group.
The next time I come down,
Oh.
though, I'll be sure I bring you something.
The creature in question, kind of looking to you with this massive red eye, you watch as a mouth starts to form. It almost as if it's like turning, and now you can see that the mouth is there, where it was facing the other direction before. And then you see what appear to be 4 tentacles kind of move out, kind of just out of the mouth, and kind of move about the mouth as it's talking, almost as if this is a part of its speech patterning. You don't see lips. It's just basically like a lamprey maw. Oh, whoa. Who dropped? Zach. Okay, hold on. I gotta fix it.
Oh, I'm, no,
Such a cool creature, though.
This is
And
not.
like the lamprey.
Yeah, this is not the one that you think it is.
no.
You were thinking roper was the word you were looking for.
I was thinking for Roper, yeah. Oh, I didn't even see the thing yet.
Yep. This is not a roper.
Well, all right then.
Let's see. Transition
Oh my God.
and
It's a big boy.
unlock
Cool looking.
studio mode. And
I want
then
a
we
pet like
got
that.
Kimmy goes there.
I'm Kimmy and Cindrix
Dijo
is me.
goes there. John goes there. I go there. Magpie goes there. Looks like everyone's in the wrong spots. Okay, now we're good. So the creature, after spinning about and facing you, will say, "That would be most kind. If you know nothing, I will tell you. This place harbors ill will for even you."
What do you mean?
This place was created fully of the malice indentured of my people. I serve as a block, a defense for them, and also from any of them being taken by the likes of you. If any of my kin are upon you when you attempt to leave this place, I will have no choice but to render you deceased.
I'll look back to the group. Do we have any reason to steal his babies?
No.
Why would we do? Why would we do
Donnie,
that?
no stealing his song, please.
I mean, now that he told us not to, I kind of want to, but
No, no,
Oh.
Tomo, no.
So
You don't steal children.
I want to be very
Covers Tomo's
honest,
mouth.
and maybe this is too honest, but I'm gonna do it. So Koyura stays quiet and kind of shrugs. And just in case this thing has a detect thoughts floating around, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't.
It does.
There is a thought, like Koyura's mind opens like a little agenda calendar, and then like a little item appears that's like, find a way to clear out this nest of disgusting monsters. Kind of like appears on there, and then it closes, like just like almost automatically, right?
Okay. Yeah, there's no response.
Okay.
It set its ultimatum. It doesn't seem to be making addendums.
All right.
I mean, we're not down here for you. We're just down here to see if there was anything important about my family.
Your ancestors reside here, and they also reside within the door further forward. And its kind of tentacle kind of points back the way you came, flippantly.
But you did say one of my ancestors is in this space.
Many of them reside here.
Okay. No, we don't wish you harm or your.
You'll watch as one of the tentacles kind of grows to kind of like an exorbitant length and drops into the water, and then slowly kind of comes out, water kind of splaying off of it. And you can see that there's a skull in its tentacle grasp, and the skull, like the chul, is completely covered with crystal. It then kind of moves that to the shore and like slowly just drops it down.
I don't know what to think of this. It almost feels like a challenge.
If you kind of look to it, it looks like a human skull, completely covered with crystal, like a glowing skull.
Did you do that to my ancestor?
I am not time. I am not Atma. I am but one who watches over these things. Those of my kin, and the remains of your ancestors that were left here before the formation of the crypt.
Is there anything besides their skeletons that remain?
There's
Any
skeletons do not remain within here, only their skulls. The transactional agreement my kin had with your ancestors. The tentacle moves back to the skull and slowly turns it around so that you can see the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that it's completely broken out, as if it was like cracked open like an egg. Was simply one of survival.
I'm gonna look back at Tom. Are you sure this isn't the death door?
Tom, we'll make an Arcana check. You've been sitting here probably thinking about it for a while. Okay, first things first. You can tell that this is technically a relative of a roper. You've encountered ropers, I believe, with this group, right?
We dipped out of a cavern when Tommel recognized a roper. We did not engage with it.
Snake Bridge.
Right. And that one that you encountered seemed to have similar kind of strange, mannerisms, I think, if it was the one I'm thinking about. That said, this one, for certain, has an aberrant nature to it. The tentacles are not of a natural kind of roper tentacles, where roper tentacles have kind of more of a sinewy, string-like materia that's just used for grabbing and, per the name, roping individuals. These look like they're more fleshy and more thick, but they do have the same kind of nature of being able to kind of extend different distances. The mouth is also not something that's typically common on a roper. Ropers typically have jaw-like structures that are for biting. This appears to have a sucking kind of apparatus for a mouth, like a lamprey, or, more astutely, like an illithid. At 26, you would know that this is not a roper, it is not an illithid, it is the fusion of the two, and it is known as an orophion. Orophions are very rare creatures that, like I said, are the fusion of an illithid worm or parasite entering into a roper and creating this.
I would like to adopt it, please. What do I need to
It's
roll?
technically already adopted by Sarah, so you can fight amongst yourselves.
I mean, I gotta feed it, so you can come down here and feed it.
If you want to be moved, have Gil get his brain extracted and then just bring him back to life.
Yeah. Sounds alright.
I mean, he said as long as we don't wish him ill or his, we can move around space.
Yeah, but what he means by his kin being present here is definitely something that is giving Tommel cause for concern.
Oh, so we can't step in the water because he's.
You can't. You can walk through the water.
Tommels not going to.
Ginger isn't either.
I mean, you can, but should we?
Wait. Why are we getting in the water?
To get past it.
My Zoom cut off for a second.
To get past it. And of course, you reordered my spacing.
I'm so sorry.
Absolute villain.
To be fair, I think I reordered your spacing when my cat turned off my computer like 5 minutes ago.
Ah.
She a bitch.
That's what happened.
Not sorry.
Oh, so I see your cat and John's cat work together.
Yeah, team.
Yeah.
The
The
business
worst.
partners.
The office villains. That's a girl cat, though, right?
Yes.
You want to know how I knew that? Just looking at the side of it.
Because of the coloring, you can only get.
It's
Yeah.
very. It's not impossible.
Well, not only, but
It's
yeah.
very, very rare for a cat to have more than 2 colors and be a male.
Yeah.
Welcome to my Discovery Channel talk, I guess. I don't know if I can. Okay. Well then,
Geo.
do you wish to pass by the water at all?
Is he
Ginger's
giving
gonna-
us? Is he giving us? Like, are we? Is he allowing us to pass?
He's not stopping.
So here's the thing. He said, if you have any of my kind on you, when you leave, I will kill you.
I will
And
render
Tom
you
was being
deceased.
weird about the water.
Yeah.
Well, then-
So, Gil, what's especially important about the water, and I want to make sure this is very clear for you. You would notice it because you're a sea elf.
Yeah.
This water looks very, 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 very great to you. It looks like it is not regular water. It looks like it is sea water, like very salty,
Oh.
high salt content water.
Okay.
Body.
Wait.
Right.
When I turned back and looked at Tommel and asked, "Are you sure this is the correct door?" Did Tommel respond anything back? No, you just shook your head like.
I don't know. The correct door for what? What are we looking for?
Are you sure
What's the correct door?
that this isn't death's door instead of the life's door?
Potato, potato.
Oh,
Oh Lord.
What is that supposed to mean? Oh, no.
That's not reassuring at
How's
all.
As you're kind of discussing amongst yourselves and passing back notes and talking and deciding what you're wanting to do, you do see a tentacle just flare into the water very suddenly and kind of come back up with a fish in hand. And then you see like the lamprey mouth kind of purse to a very small size, suckle onto the head of the fish and kind of peel something out of the back of it and then kind of discard the fish into the water.
Oh.
Neat.
That's how
I mean,
it's
he's
gonna
just having
devour
a
our
s-
bodies.
Well, he's just having a snack.
If
Yeah.
you're an opportune eater, you eat when you can.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
I mean, it's not like we haven't
Says
eaten
the
fish
college kid.
before.
You gotta eat. You just gotta do it.
Johnny
Gotta
just
do
like is out there in the swamps doing research and just throws a hand into the swamp like whoosh.
Yep. Study it.
That's it. That's how it works.
Oh my god.
Yep. Exactly. Cool.
Okay, so I guess if your old friend is not stopping us, then we should move forward. Tommel is not sharing his concerns about the water, right? If there are any.
There could be another way. Is there? Do we have to go through the water?
I mean, I can go first, and if I die, I mean, obviously, don't go into the water.
Good point.
There's just Andrew's just staring at the water, just not wanting to go in.
Yes, let's give it the classic gill test.
You know, he started rubbing his hands together when he said that.
Tommel's a scientist at heart. It's just a classic experiment.
Gil is
take
the
notes.
control.
The control grid.
And
No.
yeah, I know.
Or
it's
is
not,
he the variable? I don't know.
I know it's
No,
not
that's
very
Cindrix.
like prominently shown. I'm just gonna see if I can't find. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this will work. Maybe this one. Okay, open image in new tab. So it's kind of like this in the interior. I'm posting it in Discord now. So the walls are kind of like, slick, and you can kind of see like the spotting throughout. Like there's like small little crystal gradations throughout, just to give you kind of a better visual of what, again, the cave looks like.
Oh, it's like so it's kind of like this here.
Yeah, the real world inspiration for the cave and the skulls are the glowing skulls of Talgua caves. So
Ooh.
the skulls are actually kind of. I'll post this in Discord just so you have it. But yeah, they're like kind of like this.
Neat.
Like that.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Makes me itchy.
Must be.
Can I ask the creature, when was the last time you saw my father? Was it recent?
Yeah, he would say, or sorry, the creature would say, he came within to the catacombs, and he would say out a metric that is based on hours, which you would kind of calculate to be 7 days ago.
And he passed through here?
No. He entered into this space with a prisoner of his 2 feet to me.
Oh,
You've been sacrificed.
And the creature would then gesture down at the jewel.
Oh.
wait.
Oh.
Your dad was capturing crab lobsters?
Do you know where he went after that?
Points to the door behind you. Presumably back up into the keep.
Oh man. I gotta feed this guy every week. I've never had a pet before.
I can sustain myself just fine without you. However, I guard what I guard for purpose. if
What
I...
do you guard?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what do you guard?
Why is my camera not working? Oh, there it goes. That's really weird. My camera died and then just plugged back in. That's what that beeping was for those watching at home. I guard my kin, as well as the remnants of her lineage.
Lineage. Lineage. Then I point back at Sarah. I'm like, sorry. Yeah, makes sense.
There are somewhere around 100 skulls like that one in this place. They were the members of the Ordric line who sacrificed themselves to be consumed, to sustain, to maintain the pact. The one
sorry,
that...
I may want
Go ahead.
to... No, I'm sorry. That you're going to explain it?
I was going to say, the one that lingered here before, the one that remained, did so as long as he could, watching over the final pool. He left when a great beacon blasted through mental space, and he was required to return. He was my relative, the one who left, the one who remained. But he was also your relative, pointing to Sarah. And for Tommel, that means that, Sarah Morphosis was probably involved.
He was a Stormbringer?
No. Simply a member of House Ordric.
Huh. Karen just gets closer to the door.
Has anybody ever crossed the water and gone to the other side?
Of course. And each time it has happened, I have given the same warning, which I will give to you once again. If you enter into this space and leave with a member of my kin, I will terminate you.
They're not gonna try and, like, sneak out on us, right?
They will try and leave with you, of course.
Ah, there you go.
There it is.
There's the fucking catch.
You should have no problems if you do not put
Yeah.
your fleshy hands into the brine.
So
Like
don't
the-
go in the water.
In front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Okay.
below you, sorry.
So, like, are you gonna
Oh.
give us uppies
He
so
kinda-
that we can swing
kinda-
across, or like?
Well, he was kind of put on the spot, so he replies to Scare, and he like points at this. He's like, "No, this isn't it. This is just a water stream that gives me sustenance. The pool's back that way," and kind of points the tentacle over. Well, I guess it would be like,
Yeah. So Gil's like, oh, okay.
splash.
Ew!
And yeah, it definitely feels like seawater to you, Gil, when you kind of step into it, but it definitely feels like it's
Yeah.
heavier. So it feels like it's very much
Oh.
more salty than just salt water.
Ooh,
the
double
ocean.
salt.
Ooh.
So are you
Two
like
times as well.
stepping on the skulls of my ancestors over there?
Oh no, he's floating.
Politely,
He's floating
politely
like this,
stepping
like
on
the
skulls.
lazy river.
It's like 3 feet deep.
Flying.
Well, very, very salted water is very dense, so it would make it a little easier for us to float.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the Dead Sea. He's
Is it-
literally
Yeah.
just like.
The Dead-
And heavy salted water can
Sure.
also be very acidic. Just depends on
Mhm.
how you want to look at it. Regardless, you're able to
Yeah.
pass without issue. That's the main point. When you enter
They
into this
elite.
space, you will see that on the ground, like littered in different places, there are a number of different skulls. Like
Cindrix, don't dawdle.
Just give me a second.
Oh, hold on, buddy.
Is there
I
a
got
way-
you. I got you. No,
Give me a second.
Gil will literally go back and be like, "Give me your hands, dude. Let's go."
Oh.
And he's
He
literally
just
gonna
gotta
like
clench onto your
pull.
body, holding on to dear life.
As you wade into the kiddie pool of
Gil-
salt water, Cindrix
No,
does
and
fight,
then Gil's just gonna
fight his
like
anxiety.
he'll flip Cindrix on his back so he's floating, and then just pull him.
Okay, adorbs. The two of you
Like-
make it fine. But like I was saying, like all about the ground, like littered in different random spots, probably like within this first area, somewhere near like 2 or 3 dozen of the skulls that you saw pulled out of the water are present on the ground. And each and every single one of them has the back of it removed, broken out as if it was kind of just shattered like an egg. But they're all
So like all of these
good.
are all of these are the people that he's terminated because the little tadpoles tried to get out.
You don't know for certain, but based on what he said,
Sacrifices.
they sacrificed themselves to be consumed by someone here.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask if we leave, if we're when we're leaving, is it okay if we do like a preliminary check and you just
Spot
make
check.
sure that we don't
Yes.
get spot check, make sure we don't have anybody on us?
Sure. So what's going to happen is you're going to kind of maneuver through the space very cautiously, but eventually you're going to come to this back area. And that's the most important part. If you want to be more thorough in your investigation, like looking for specific things, you can go ahead and make an investigation check on the way there. But again, those who don't do that will be first to the pool and can interact with it first.
I will do that.
Ooh, fuck.
Wow.
I could give you.
Damn.
Crit fail.
Damn us.
Dang.
Baby cat, stop it. No, ow.
Yeah, cat. No, that's why I rolled so low.
I went to go pet him and he just started biting and clawing at me.
So weird. He clawed at my roll.
I don't know why
20.
I'm laughing so
roll.
hard at that.
That is hilarious. Okay, so Tom, you go straight back, right?
Go. Yeah.
You're not investigating. You're moving back to where like you were kind of told the living is happening. Okay, so those of you who can see it, and when you get over there, there is a very shallow, maybe a foot and a half deep pool of water. There's a small drip coming from the ceiling, and when you look up and kind of see the pool as well, you can see that there is a bit of sunlight coming through what appears to be a very narrow flue that's kind of diagonally pointed into the space. Kuyura being an architect-minded individual and Tommel being kind of spatially aware of, design, understands that this probably slips out underneath the keep, kind of comes out the side of the mountain that the keep is sat on. Does that make sense? This pool of water appears to have a series of small little things kind of floating around in it. Some of them are moving, some of them are not moving. They all look the same, about the same. Somewhere around like that long, about that thin, kind of just like, very, very thin.
Tadpoles.
And they all have these 4 little kind of hooks on the front of their faces.
Is that all that's in this space? Is that pool?
There are also small, like, bushes kind of growing, and they appear to be bearing fruit. The fruit in question appears to be kind of like a yellowish, kind of almost lemon-like looking fruit, but again, they're not lemons. You don't know exactly what they are.
Are they kumquat?
They are not
Oh.
kumquats.
Can I do a nature check on them?
You sure can.
And
You're the only one
guidance.
that can.
Guidance too. It's all like
Okay, let's see.
Just evil lemons.
evil. Act.
So,
Oh, 11.
you don't know what they are. The bushes are very alien to you. They don't seem to be correct. And the fruits that they are bearing are also very strange to you, not something that you've seen before. You then hear a voice in your head say, "They came with us. They act as sustenance for them." Be
Oh,
mindful
okay.
of your step.
All right, don't get away from the bushes.
And then
Every
you'd also
villain
hear in your
is
voice, "You are welcome to them if you wish. Take as many as you like."
Do they do anything for us mortals?
There isn't really a response there. The presumption is that they're just fruit, but if you want to inspect them, you can.
He said to take some. I'm gonna take some.
Okay, you pull one off, and again, like I said, it's kind of like a lemon, but it has more of like a roundness of an orange, but strangely kind of oblong, like a lemon. So it's like somewhere in between the two, right? And as you kind of dig your nails into the flesh and kind of start peeling it back, it reveals underneath the rind rather as you pull back the rind, the flesh underneath is kind of a pinkish color, and it has a very strange patterning to it that's a little different than what you would see normally, like on an orange or a tangerine. Those are kind of broken up into sections. This appears to be one kind of core of internal like fruit that has these strange kind of curvy, almost brain-like kind of grooves in it. And as you kind of peel it back, it's like take a grapefruit, make it more pink, and it has the consistency and look of a brain.
I'm gonna bite it.
It's really good. In fact, it's so good, it actually reminds you of your childhood. There are moments in your childhood where you feel like you have eaten this before, and you just can't place what they're called.
Almost gonna love these. I'm gonna take a couple.
All right? And no ill effects, nothing crazy. Just delicious, succulent brain fruits. Um, as you're kind of inspecting that, Gil kind of walks over. Cindrix kind of heads in after very horribly, failed watching his swimming and trying to dry off. And then Quira and Scarin will enter in, kind of not having the best luck searching on the way. And Tomla, you would have arrived at about the same time as Sarah. Do you have any questions about the space that you're entering into here? No? Okay.
Yo, this tastes so good. You should try some.
Yeah,
Okay.
you would definitely recognize that the creatures floating in the water are illithid larvae.
Is that all that's in the pool of water?
You can make a investigation, perception, or survival check, your choice.
Oh.
take a guidance too.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So, looking it over, you're kind of certain that that's all that's there. You'd also notice that there are a couple things happening regarding the floating tadpole creatures. Um, some of them are not moving, like they are either dormant or dead. And then others appear to be eating others, like they are consuming one another.
Oh.
Oh, it's like I think it's like target sharks
When you
that
watch
way.
that happen with a couple of these instances, it almost looks like someone kind of sparks them, like there's like a bolt or something that causes them to move away from each other. And you can kind of see like a flash in the water that happens when that occurs. But it looks like some of them are allowed to be consumed. Um, and then inside of the water, kind of close to the median space, kind of settled at the bottom of the pool, there appears to be a crown.
Oh.
It is a very alien looking crown compared to what you're used to seeing regarding monarchies, storm heralds, or kind of nobility wearing kind of highfalutin tops. And yeah, Tommel,
I mean,
getting like wind of what's happening inside the pool. It appears that there is a third party wherever they are, possibly the Urufaion at the front, that is stopping the tadpoles from consuming one another. Because if the tadpoles consume one another and eventually there's just the one tadpole that wins out, it creates a thing called a neolithid, and those things are fucking disgusting and horrible and murderific and not great.
Oh, that's cool. It's kind of like tiger sharks, where the little babies eat each other. So
Yeah, except that
eventually one comes out on
neolithid,
top. Except it's not. Yeah.
What?
Probably bad.
Neophilid. Sorry, I pronounced the words wrong. Yeah, this one has a person in it. That's good. This is what they look like once they've done all the eating.
Like a rat king, but
Whoa!
Person for scale.
okay, never mind.
I'll go ahead and show. Again,
That's
this
awesome looking.
is all going on in
No, thank you.
Tommel's brain. Yeah, they're great. But apparently someone's stopping this pool from becoming that.
Okay.
And you said there's like a crown or something?
In the water, at the bottom,
in the water.
in the middle.
Oh.
It's not the Eye of Kazil, is it?
Great question. Hard to tell from this position, but it definitely has a very similar alien look to what you recall. There's no bright red showing up, though, so you're not for certain.
You can tell that creature to get it if we really want it. We don't want to risk it.
Yeah, we can ask him. I'll walk back and ask the creature, how could we retrieve the item at the bottom of the pool?
I know not, would be the Urufion's response.
Anyone got Mage Hand?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think illithid tadpoles will attach to a Mage Hand, right?
Probably not.
I can try and grab it, I guess. Someone will come over. We're wading through the gross ass water.
Scarin wouldn't have flown Tom.
Yeah, that's fine. And then Mage
Does Mage Hand pick it up?
Hand, grab a hold of it, carries 10 pounds, right?
I'll say, wait a minute.
Something like
Do we want to remove it?
You pull the crown, or whatever it is, up out of the water, and I believe I've shown you the picture of the Eye of Haziel. It is, in fact, that. It appears to be a...
Yeah, it's one of the missing things,
held
right?
at top with a massive kind of red gem at its center.
That was one of the items missing from the set.
How do you spell it?
Yeah, that's it.
Hold on. It's this
The
thing.
Eye of Alim Kazir.
Oh, nice.
If it's
It's a
still here,
laser.
if it's still here, is it really missing?
It's not missing. Yeah, you now have it, so it's no longer missing.
So should we just keep it here?
No.
Excuse me?
What kind of
Wasn't it
archaeologist do
keeping-
you think we are?
Well, it seems to have
Wait, is that in character
natural-
or out of
in
character?
character, in totally
Out
in
of
character.
character?
Oh, in character. Well,
I'm in character.
Scaran, this location, I'm sure the Ordric ancestors have the reasons for keeping it here. But at this point, we must leverage all resources for the defense of Ordris. I don't think it is sufficient for it to remain here.
Seems to
Tommel.
be having a purpose here.
Tommel, when you mage hand it to the shore, do you take a hold of it when it comes
No,
to...
it's floating on Mage Hand. Tommel doesn't touch it.
So it's just floating in the air right now, for now.
At the moment, Tommel is waiting for someone else to take it out of the Mage Hand's hand. Tommel is not touching it.
Is
Just making
there
sure.
is there okay, so Skeran, you make a good point. Can we determine if among us if there is any purpose for this artifact to be here in this pool?
I mean, it's a laser,
Hmm.
right? I
So
don't
what?
know. It's a laser. I wrote down it's a laser.
Yeah, that's accurate
Me
note.
too.
Good note taking. Actually.
It's a-
Well, we thought it was
I'm
Um,
glad.
but
I'm
it's
glad I'm not
not.
the only one that put that down.
Is there any arcanic knowledge that I can? I mean, like, would there be any arcane reason to keep this artifact here in this pool other than just to keep it out of the hands of whoever?
You do what you want, but there's no arcane reason why I can think that
Okay.
would be. Obviously, people are seeking it.
Right. But it's not like, oh, because of its arcane properties, it's keeping these stupid tadpoles from like
Oh no.
like unionizing or whatever.
Uh,
If you had to do kind of like a inverse calculation, your presumption is that whoever hit it here, with the presumption that they weren't going to be able to get here based on everything you had to go through.
Right.
And also, if they did make it here, they might be caught unawares by the tadpoles and turned into something that would be a bit more happy to bring it back.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Quiura will take it and put it away.
The second you touch it,
I die.
yes, that's it, and that's the end of the game. Okay, we can go ahead and move on to whatever game we're doing next.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Grab a hold of the helmet, the crown, and the
Okay.
second you do, a vision kind of flares into your mind. It's almost like it was encoded onto the item, and whoever first touches it, it's revealed to them. A silhouette of what you presume to be a humanoid figure with 4 fingers and what appear to be tentacles moving about its face. It's just in silhouette in your mind. Appears, and it says, "If you are friendly to House Ordric, you may keep it as long as you safeguard it. However, if you are not, I will know by the day's end, and I will come for you." Then the vision cuts.
Oh.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Loyalty is tested.
Guess we'll see in a day.
Yes.
Well,
Guess we'll find out.
if there is one bitch that's loyal, I guess it's probably Quiura, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's fine. She will I feel like she's kind of like, oof, that was kind of fucked up. And we'll kind of, wipe sweat off of her brow and kind of share what happened. I think it's time we get the fuck out of here.
Oh, I like this. Maybe everyone should have a turn every day. Someone else gets the helmet.
She's like, I want
Is-
to know who my real friends are.
I suspect,
Yeah, right.
I do suspect that this may have been a one-off after retrieving from the pool, but we can certainly test it tomorrow
No.
morning.
I wouldn't. That's interesting.
Okay. Has everybody gathered their share of brain lemons?
No one has
Oh.
any tadpole on them.
Three tadpoles.
Well, we will stop at the next pool and check everybody's clothes, hair, skin, make sure that we are not carrying any tadpoles across. Or should we do that now before we get any closer to the
Yeah.
Probably smarter to think.
the nanny?
Yeah, none of you are. Nobody entered the pool, so you're good. Yeah, it doesn't look like they were able to maneuver outside
They
of it.
can't leap.
No.
Ugh.
What if they do if I toss one of the fruits in there? Because you said that they're for the little babies.
Do you tear the rind off of it first, or do you toss it in with the rind on it?
Tear it off.
Okay. Then they consume it heartily.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then I
looks like
take one for myself.
It looks like you're a sea elf. You mean you're used to kind of smaller sea creatures, kind of maneuvering about, plankton, the like, etc.
Yeah.
Shrimp and what
The
have you.
shrimp.
Yep, sea horses and all that cool stuff. Everything that sings during the under the sea segment,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know all that stuff. So you
Yeah, including all the freshwater fish that are somehow in
in
the
the
ocean.
ocean.
Yeah.
So you would be able to
And
track that
yep, the reef fish.
number of these
Get me
tadpoles that are
started.
present is somewhere in the ballpark of a couple hundred, maybe into like 300s of these little tadpoles just kind of
Okay.
swimming around inside of the brine. And like a good, couple dozen are latched onto that fruit, kind of suckling off of the juices.
Little baby tadpoles. Cute.
They are
They remind me of like triops.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They are illithid babies.
Do y'all remember the
That's fine.
triops?
Can't say that.
They were like sea monkeys, but
Oh
they
yeah,
were
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those
more
things.
gross.
It's a fairy shrimp.
Yeah, they're like that, but with tentacles for a face. Yeah. I'll see if I can find a good picture.
Used to get nightmares.
Illithid larvae. Oh yeah, that's the best one right there.
Oh my
That's-
gosh! I love those things. That's so adorable.
Yeah, but more like
Like
this.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Yeah, they're still cool looking.
they're going
They're
right
not
for the
cute.
eye.
Right for the eye.
Not cute, but they're
You're damn
they're
right.
neat.
But yeah, they can grow to different sizes, and also make kind of weird, different, like we discussed, the neothylid and other stuff. Yeah, mind flayers are fucked up. So they're not my favorite of the aberrations, but they're definitely one that I've been kind of tooling around with a little bit more lately, because no one has ever entered my city yet, and I kind of want that to happen, but maybe one day, maybe not. We'll see. You move back towards the main chamber, is that right? Or are you moving back towards the hallway to leave this place?
The main. Is there anything noteworthy in this main chamber with those statues?
Door that says death.
I kind of want to look.
Also, the glowing skulls, you could take
Mhm.
those. The artificer would be able to gauge that each one of those is probably worth about 1,000 gold pieces.
Holy shit!
Oh snap!
Glowing skulls are things that do not happen very commonly in the world, and as a kind of natural phenomenon, are regarded as kind of a massive luxury.
How many?
There was 100 or so in there.
Wait.
Wait,
But also, these are the remains of
The people.
Sarah's
Oh
family.
yeah.
So I would not be like, hey, yeah, let's take
Let's
these.
go market
And
for
if-
fucking family
and if-
remains.
If
What?
Queera sees anybody, okay, let me say this: Queera would not have shared with the group that these are valuable,
That's fair.
and if she sees people snatching them up because they're cute, she will be like, "You need to put that shit back."
Alright, Cinder,
Uraphion
let's
was
do
willing to
this.
kill you because you're
Alright,
taking
thank you.
larvae. I'm willing to kill you for taking treasures.
That's right.
And then
Thank you, Gil.
Cinder is like, it belongs in a museum.
Right?
Oh, wait,
the
no, sorry,
money,
that's
with the
Gil. Gil
gold.
says that. I apologize.
So you
Yeah,
say Cindrix
that's
is
fair.
England.
Well, Gil, if you think about it,
Inspiration. You
Oh,
have it now,
no.
John.
Oh my god.
Gil, if you think about it, a
Someone doesn't have
museum, a grave is like a museum for the dead. So we'll just leave them here.
Yes. That's fine.
So back into the main chamber?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that
So
was-
we have the columbariums we haven't explored. We have the hand you remove the rings from. So you have those 13 rings. You
Mhm.
have the dead bodies with the things that they have in their hands. You can inspect those if you'd like. You have the soupy mass, which you've taken 4 vials of. You have the door that says in giant runes, death.
Giant.
Giant runes.
I think
Thommelboat's death door.
I
Giant,
agree.
giant death door
Death door.
has doorknobs, so you could open the door if you want.
Can't come all the way down here and not explore every room.
Somebody.
And
Oh, Scaren's
anything
doing
with the
it.
water.
Are you opening the door?
I'm waiting for the rest of the team.
Oh,
Standing next
I
to
was
the
like,
door.
is Scarin the new Gil?
Yeah,
I
I was
love
Oh my
it.
god, what is happening?
That's
Yeah, I
Get
was-
everybody over here.
Scared puts his hand on the doorknob, goes, turns around. Huh?
So we know
Do
Gil
it.
opens the
I'm
door. When
gonna
you
do
open the
it.
door,
I'm
the
gonna do
room
it.
doesn't change. Nothing crazy happens. The door opens normally. There's no weird nonsense. There's still magic on the door. If you're still detecting magic, I don't know if you are, but yeah, it pops open, and inside you see, like the room you entered into with the multiple doors, a half circle room with 7 coffins, each one in differing states of disarray. My camera just did it again. I need to figure out why that's happening. For now, since there's only 3 minutes left, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it the rest of the way. But yeah, it looks like the chest or the sarcophagi here are in different states of disarray. If you enter in, you'll see the one on the far left, which will be the one on the bottom, is slightly ajar, and it looks like there is a hand that has been cut off and left on top of the sarcophagus lid. The one next to it is completely fine and intact. The one next to it, the sarcophagus lid has been broken into pieces, some inside of it, some outside of it, and it looks like whatever was inside, as far as bodies go, has been extracted. We'll talk about the one on the dais last. There is the next one, which is completely fine and intact. There is another one that appears to have an axe, or more of like an axe-headed spear. Strange to say, but yeah, halberd would be a good way of defining it. On the lid, it is just kind of carved into the lid. It's not a real halberd. The lid is slightly ajar, no hands or any extremities coming out. Just looks like someone might have peeked inside. And the final sarcophagus on the far right is closed and intact. And if you enter in, like I said, just go ahead and put Gil in there because I don't care. The back walls here and here are covered with some of the most ornate, like stone carving that you've seen in Ordric ever, and it seems to tell a tale across this scope. On the back wall on
Sarah.
the crescent, there are a number of hangings, like places like hanging mounts, where one would hang tapestries, and it looks like they've all been removed with the exception of the one behind the dais. And now I will explain the one on the dais. The one on the dais has everything intact, completely fine, latched shut with golden locks, and on the top, on the surface of it, it says, in the Ordric language, directly below a motif, the first Storm Herald.
Oh,
He who was gifted the power of the sun. And
yeah.
the word for sun in Ordric for you, Sarah, is very interesting because it means 3 things that are very kind of strangely relevant at this point in time. Sun means light, radiance, the thing in the sky that makes that, right? That's one way of defining the Ordric word for sun. It also means cognizance, enlightenment, kind of like an understanding of the world around you. When something is revealed to you, like when a truth is brought forth.
Like when you shine light on something.
When you reveal something, yeah, like when you shine a light on something. And lastly, it also denotes a mind, specifically pointing to like you as a person, your personality, being a light in the world. The sarcophagus lid, as I mentioned, is closed, and there's a motif above the writing. And the motif that appears above the writing is similar to House Ordric's symbol. However, the bird appears to have 4 tentacles coming from its beak. And that is where we'll end the session for tonight. Thanks for watching those that did, and we're going to
Get
end the
the
session.
fuck out of here.
Yo.
Good night, everybody.
Judah.